Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight, we have returning guest. It's been, I think, 3 years since we've had her on, is medium Karen Noe. She's going to be joining us as well with Marie Antoinette Kelley, who's a graphic artist. They work together on an angel oracle deck where you can use it to communicate to your guides, angels to the other side. Karen is a well-known medium who, she's got a large client list and a waiting list, I think 2-year waiting list to get a reading from her. I don't know if she'll do readings tonight or pull one card maybe out of her new deck we're going to be talking about, her angel oracle deck. The do readings, we'll find out from her. They will be on after the World Wide Web of Weird, after our first commercial break. And of course, I got a lot of weird to get to in the World Wide Web of Weird tonight. To see, had some stuff I cut out. I was trying to figure out what is best, like I usually do every week, and I think I got some good stuff. And then we'll always, as usual, open up the phone lines later in the show. I'm going to try to make it as long as I can tonight. I have a little bit of sinus issues still. I recovered from COVID. I got it like a week ago. I was good. I mean, it really did not hit me that hard. I'm lucky compared to others. But yeah, sinus-wise, and I've been working out in my yard trying to get stuff done, and it just, I don't know if it's COVID or just allergies killing me right now. But we got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get rolling on into it. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight's guest, medium Karen Noe and graphic artist Marie Antoinette Kelley will join us after our first commercial break, after the World Wide Web of Weird. Joining me, as usual, every Sunday night is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Doing good, thank you.
And I know me and you, and I think Rob, I don't know if Rob does or not, I know me and you, we do have some of our own oracle decks. I'm a tarot card kind of guy. I have several. I like to collect decks. But I've never done a actual reading with an oracle deck. I think I pulled a card on this show for somebody. It's about all closest I've ever come. But I've been interested in using them, and maybe you can give your input tonight more. You know more about pulling cards out of oracle decks.
Rob's got a lot. I think.
Yeah,
Rob's
Rob.
got more
I
than
figured
I
Rob is. Yeah. Speaking of Rob Autry from St. Augustine, Florida. How you doing tonight, Rob?
I'm doing pretty good.
But yeah, we'll talk about, you guys probably have more knowledge on oracle decks than I do. Like I said, I like to collect decks. They look pretty to me, I'm more, like I said, more into tarot than oracle. I don't know how good I'd actually be. I don't know how good I'm actually in with actual tarot deck. deck either. But we'll talk about that with him tonight. Karen's also the author of several books. Like, we had her on for her book, We Consciousness, Your Life After Death. There's a number of books she's written. We can get into some of that subject tonight, and we will open the phone lines for you guys to talk to them later. But we got a lot of weird to get to, so let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web Weird, I figured I'd start off talking something I don't like to start off talking about in weird stories, but one that was a hoax. But the reason I gotta say it's so shamefully done, this hoax, that it's pretty much a copy of a hoax we talked about a month ago about Bigfoot. Somebody pretty much copied and pasted that hoax in another state, and word for word, photo for photo, and even had the police looking into it. That's how bad this is. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup Radio Network, we are a webcast. We do stream out live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch if you want to watch, but I will narrate as best as possible. Let me put that up there. Oh, actually, there we go. All right, so I got this from Tim Binnell from Coast to Coast. An instructive display of how misinformation can easily spread online, a phony Sasquatch report that went viral last month was repurposed by another mischievous individual who managed to pull off the same feat in their state. The weird copycat case finds its roots in a story from April when an Alabama man took to social media to share a rather fantastic account of how a hunter had recently experienced a harrowing encounter with a Bigfoot in Big Lake Creek in the community of Wilmer, and that authorities were investigating the unsettling sighting. No doubt thanks to some insufferable pictures of the creature included with the post. The tale spread widely among local residents online until an area sheriff's office dismissed the report and the man revealed it was all a hoax. While that would normally be the end of the story, the tale wound up finding a new life by way of a rather unimaginative person in Iowa, and very unimaginative in my opinion. The prankster proceeded to copy the account of the Fox Bigfoot sighting nearly word for word, changing only the location and a few details about where it allegedly happened so that it would sound local, and then posted it on social media along with the photos. Much like with what happened in Alabama, the story soon spread around among residents, with many of them studying the pictures and debating whether or not the Sasquatch encounter was genuine. The buzz was considerable enough that the local newspaper even set about getting to the bottom of the mystery and ultimately concluded that it was fake. The success of the Iowa hoax is seemingly owed to the fact that its inspiration from Alabama was confined to the local community where it occurred. As such, when people heard the repurposed account, they had no idea that they were being served a second helping of the same story, or a second helping of you-know-what. With that in mind, it stands to reason that there may be others who will attempt to fool their friends and neighbors with the tale, so social media users would be wise to keep an eye out for anyone sharing the now familiar tale of a local resident who encountered a Bigfoot at a well-known spot in the area and managed to capture some blurry pictures to prove it. Well, yeah, that's most Bigfoot stories.
That would X them all out.
Yeah, you know, that's what but why? I mean, I just don't understand, like, why somebody does it. It just boggles my mind why people get kicks out of putting up fake crap. I don't understand it. There's part of my brain tries to, like, think in their shoes. That's the kind of person I am. Like, what's your kick? Why would you do this? And I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all.
Repurposed.
Especially this one. This one's so pathetic. They couldn't even come up with their own story or blurry photos. You know, they had to literally steal another person's fake story. And what I hate about the worst part about the hoaxes nowadays is they by chance get repurposed, in a sense, is that a story that has been debunked and shown still will spread around on social media sites like Facebook and Twitter and get shared around by people saying this is a true encounter and this is real, you know, for years to come after, even though it was
3
debunked.
years later, like, pops back up. Like,
I mean, I still see stories that I know were debunked a long time ago still popping up on social media, you know, that people are sharing. I'm like, fake news. Of course, we don't need a Department of Disinformation in our government to handle that. I just think we need more common sense from people. But since I gave you a fake Bigfoot story, here's one I don't think is fake. That's old, and they just had it in recovered it on Unexplained Mysteries. I think originally from Daily Mirror. I'll do the Unexplained Mysteries because it's shorter than the Daily Mirror article. But I thought this is an interesting story. These stories last, I think, for a reason, especially before the age of social media, these encounters, because of the truth of them. All right, so this one, a creature which was spotted at a horse farm in Manitoba prompted an armed response from locals. There are few cryptozoological mysteries as enduring as widespread as Bigfoot, a mystery hairy hominid that many people believe roams the wilds and woodlands of rural North America. One woman who believes she encountered one of these beasts firsthand is Jacqueline Lang, an ex-farmer who at the time of the sighting in 1981 had been working at a horse farm in Manitoba, Canada. One winter night, while she was going out to the oat shed, she heard what she described as a sudden wham sound against the wall, which frightened the daylights out of her. I then heard shuffling next to me in the shadows behind this shed, she said. I backed up until I could see a head and shoulders taller than the line of the shed. It looked one way and then the other and turned back staring at me. The creature growled at her in a low, rumbling, menacing sort of way, which prompted her to quickly bolt from the barn and seek assistance from other farmhands. We both ran back from the pit with pitchforks and was still there again. It looked one way, the other, and came back looking at us and growled again, she said. We were screaming at it, and it leaned in and jumped into the paddock and ran off. Later in the night, they were woken by the police, who told them that their horses had escaped. It turned out that the animals had been so fearful that they had taken out the entire fence line while trying to flee. There was also a report in a local newspaper about a policeman who had witnessed a tall, hairy thing leaping over a 10-foot fence. This encounter was almost 40 years ago, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. I feel like I owed you a good Bigfoot story after having to start off a hoax. So
maybe the Bigfoot knocked the fence down and the horses got out.
Right. Maybe they wanted to set the horses free. No, more likely the horses will stampede if there's some kind of Bigfoot or something they don't, that's going to spook them.
Yeah. That's true.
Horses can be spooked. And man, they're dangerous when they are. Don't be in their way. All right. Now we got some Loch Ness stuff. Now, I'm not going to have the video footage. I watched it. It's like 2 minutes and 35 seconds long. You can find it on Unexplained Mysteries, Coast to Coast AM, Daily Mail, Daily Mail Online. All these sites have this video. You can find it. There's not a lot to see. You can see something kind of moving in the water. They're saying this is really incredible footage. I'm not trying to discount that. But to me, I don't know.
I thought they debunked Bigfoot. I mean, Nessie, though.
No, I wouldn't say they've debunked Nessie, no. There's still people seeing Nessie every year.
You didn't see the whale.
Oh, what, the whale penis theory? I mean, I'm sure there's some pictures out there of people thought they got Loch Ness and it was a whale penis. Yes. Yes, but does that mean it debunks it? Does that mean every Loch Ness picture is a whale penis? No, it doesn't. They
saw it and they drew it.
Uh-huh. It is a good theory. It's a good theory. I don't know. All right, so for Unexplained Mysteries, I got the article from. A couple who had been visiting Loch Ness recently managed to record something unexplained moving in the water. There have been 4 registered sightings of the elusive monster already this year, and this latest one, which was filmed by a couple who wish to remain anonymous, is the most intriguing to date. The couple who had been on vacation in Scottish Highlands and visiting the iconic loch when they had spotted something moving through the water. Excuse me. Oh, man, I sinus drainage is just killing me. We were fairly ambivalent about the Loch Ness Monster, the woman told Mail Online. We enjoyed the stories but didn't necessarily believe them. We definitely love somebody to analyze the video. It helps anybody would work out what it's down there. Be out of absolute pleasure. We'd be delighted. According to Gary Campbell, the official Loch Ness Monster sighting register, the footage has been viewed by a photographic expert who confirmed that it shows something moving in the water. Whatever it is, it's larger than a bird, but it's otherwise difficult to make out what it could be. The footage, you can, like I said, Mail Online. That's why I couldn't show it, because they actually copyrighted that footage. That's why I couldn't show it. But it really wasn't much to see. You just kind of see something moving in the water. If you go to the full article in the Mail Online of her experience, she actually says that she could see the neck of the thing and one flipper under the water, which I found interesting. But you don't see that in the video. That's from their closer inspection, I'm guessing. The video is pretty far back, and pretty much what you see there circled is just like the ripple and the waves and something moving underwater. Bigfoot photos are blurry. Nessie photos are underwater half the time. You know, so
Flipper
what are you gonna
or
get?
flipper or
Yeah,
dorsal fin.
dorsal fin maybe. I can't remember. I called it a flipper.
No,
I
I
don't know
was
what you call it.
joking. I was joking again
Oh,
about the whale.
oh, yeah, the whale penis. I know we're not gonna let go of the whale penis. Hey, there's real people that believe in Loch Ness. Don't make fun of them and think they're all seeing whale penises now. We're open-minded here, but it is a possibility you are seeing a whale penis. We will put that out there. All right, what do we got next? All right. Speaking of weirdness, what about monkeys doing it in the jungle? Monkeys that are different species. Unorthodox primate is believed to be a cross between two other distantly related species. A new study this week has further demonstrated that natural world is still has great many surprises in store, even when it comes to a group of animals as well documented and understood as primates. The mysterious monkey, which was first discovered near Kambingaton River, or totally in Malaysia, when it was still an infant, has left primatologists scratching their heads. The prevailing theory is that the unusual specimen is actually a cross between a proboscis monkey, I probably got that wrong, and a silvery langur, which are only distantly related, a pairing that has never been seen before, despite the fact that both species do happen to inhabit the same forest. It is, in fact, only the second time that intergeneric hybridization in wild primates has ever been recorded at all, making this a particularly unusual case. When hybridization can often cause infertility, there has been evidence to suggest that the specimen, which is a female, is not only fertile but may have already given birth to an offspring. The long-term consequences of such hybridization, however, remain a concern for ecologists. Seeing the putative hybrid is per se not of concern to the balance of the ecosystem or the two species. However, it is an alarming symptom of an ecosystem that already seems out of balance, said the study's co-author Nadine Rupert from the University of Science in Malaysia. So this is something they've only documented twice in primates in all the years of study. And then it's happening. Well, why? You know, why is it happening? They say, is it environmental? You know, are we pushing these animals to breed together because their resources are getting scarce, or I don't know. But, you know, or life's evolving. That's just how it happens. Two different species of monkeys.
I don't know, but it could be any one of those things.
But what it makes me think about is some of the weird hybridization animal stories we've had over the years where they think certain animals have, and then either they prove that they haven't or they've never got the analysis, you know.
Yeah.
This is something that's just happening in nature regularly. I don't know. Well, we got monkeys doing in the forest. We got clowns in the cities. Clowns are back. Yes, we got a clown story. It's not even Halloween. Yeah, but, you know, I this is another one I don't get the minds of people, why they do this or why they get the kicks out of it. And this is not just one individual. We've had a lot of these creepy clown people, whatever you want to call them, stories on the World Wide Web of weird. This is a gaggle of them now, a van full of them, just to make it worse. British community menaced by a gang of clowns in van that plays creepy music. Now, is this like... This is a certain community, but could this be just like the Bigfoot thing, where somebody just makes a story and then it just gets a life of its own?
Or it's a group of cosplayers just chilling, trying to freak people out.
Yeah, creeping out the community. All right, Community England is on edge, and this is from Tim Binnell from Coast to Coast. Community England is on edge following a sighting of a proverbial clown gang that has been roaming the streets in a van blasting eerie music from loudspeakers atop of a vehicle. According to a local media report, the haunting Harlequins were first spotted last Friday evening when an unnamed resident of Landon was walking home at around 2 in the morning. What should have been a peaceful late-night stroll turned rather terrifying when he realized that he had been trailed by a van full of clowns. It's bad enough to be trailed by a van at any time, you know, especially at 2 a.m. in the morning. Just add clowns on top of that, right? When you're being trailed by a van, you should already be creeped out.
With creepy music.
And with creepy music, yeah. Making the experience all the more unnerving for the unfortunate walker, he said that was that they also had a massive speaker on top of the van which was playing creepy music. One might imagine the man was deeply disturbed by being in the crosshairs of the clowns, and he fled the scene in the fright. Later, sharing the story on social media, he warned his fellow residents about the Harlequins and their mist, and mused that it worries me that this is happening in my area as scary, creepy, and weird. Chillingly, his account of the creepy music emanating from the van was echoed by another individual who reported that she had also heard that the clowns' creepy chords late at night, and that her kids were terrified by the troubling tunes. My children now want to move away as they are scared, she lamented. I just don't know what to do. It would seem that the concerns are shared by other residents, as several other people chimed in on social media to say that they also encountered the clowns or heard their haunting music. For now, the strange sighting seems confined to the online rumor mill, as one local authority asked about the situation indicated that I hadn't been contacted personally by residents about this yet, but it does sound, really concerning. That was awful. Noting that playing really loud, scary music would be something the police should investigate, he prompted them to investigate the situation, get to the bottom of the clown mystery unfolding in the community. You would think, though, if you saw a van with a bunch of creepy clowns and playing music, I would call the cops on them, because I'm like one of those just grumpy people, like, stop playing music really loud in the neighborhood, thank you.
Get off my lawn.
Get out my lawn. I am that guy.
I'll just say they don't play that clown thing here in Florida.
No, you'll get shot in a lot of places in America for pulling that crap. Go do that downtown Chicago. No, actually, go to the suburbs of Chicago and go do that.
Yeah,
go down to St. Augustine, Florida, and go do that. Yeah, we got something for you. Yeah, I know over in England they can't pack heat, but here you might get shot. That's what I always say about the creepy clown thing, though. Like, what are the kicks these guys are getting out doing it? I don't know. I mean, but you are putting yourself in danger.
Out and getting their name on the internet.
People have clown phobias, and if they are armed here in the United States, which you could possibly be, you might be in some serious trouble playing around like that. Yeah,
I just say they're a bunch of JAs that are just driving around trying to creep people out.
We gotta move. Well, it sounds like maybe just pop a couple shots at them. I don't know. Not recommending that.
Open season on clowns.
Yeah, I'm just saying. There's people with clown phobias. My wife included is one of them. And you came rolling up on her. She just got her permit to carry. I'm just saying.
Anybody
you're gonna
with
regret
a mask. If I can't see your face and you're jumping out at me at night, I shoot first and ask later.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially if it's a band of creepy clowns. All right, let's move on before we run out of time. Now, this story I've been seeing going around, a lot of people sharing. You would think would be like, oh my God, this woman must be rich. No, to me, this is a bit of a sad story. Woman bought a statue for $34.99 at Goodwill in Texas, and it turned out to be an ancient Roman artifact and likely looted. And that's why she couldn't make any money. An ancient Roman bust that went on display in a museum in San Antonio, Texas this week has peculiar backstory. In 2018, the bust was bought at a Goodwill store in Austin, Texas. The buyer, Laura Young, was shopping for objects to resell and had no clue she picked up an artifact dating from the 1st century BC or AD. The bust was once resided in a full-scale model of a house from Pompeii in Auschwitz, Germany, according to San Antonio Museum of Art. The display, known as Pomginum, I can't pronounce that, was built by Ludwig I of Bavaria, and during World War II, it was severely damaged by Allied bombers. Let's see. The sculpture had mysteriously disappeared and was, after, I can't say the name of the town, was targeted. U.S. military remained in the area until the end of the Cold War, and it was believed an American soldier had the bust and brought it back to Texas, the museum says. So I don't want to run out of time, but she gets this. She takes it all over she realizes it's something. Like this is, this seems pretty old. She finally got somebody who identified it. There's actually pictures of it in that museum, that same bust of a head. And you know what? She had to give it back. She didn't even get her $34.99 back.
Oh, man.
It's like, but you know what? She shouldn't feel so bad. Nicolas Cage bought an actual fossilized T-Rex skull for like millions of dollars, and he had to give it to the country or whatever it came from that it was stolen from.
Sorry, you guys missed it. I just sold it for $100,000.
Yeah, right.
2 hours ago.
Yeah. No, she seemed happy though. She got to be part of the story or the history of it. I'm like, yeah, I'd be like, man, that thing's worth millions. Can I get at least my $34.99 back?
Yeah, come on, here's my receipt.
Yeah, right. At least yeah, but no, she didn't even get that. They should. She's probably getting money from doing interviews about it. I don't know. Hope she gets something, because that's quite a Goodwill find.
Yeah.
All right, last one. I've been seeing a lot of people sharing around a lot of different news agencies covering this story. It's from Peru. A funeral in Peru was interrupted last week when the person who had died turned out to be alive, very much alive. Thought of being erroneously declared dead and then buried alive in a coffin is a scenario that most people would consider among their worst nightmares. Yet this is exactly what happened to one unfortunate woman who is thought to have died in Peru recently. Rosa Isabel Cespita Calaca, who have been declared dead. Why does people have like 4 names? Have been declared dead after being involved in a car crash a few weeks earlier. Was in the process of being interred at her own funeral when she shocked relatives suddenly heard her banging on the lid from the inside the coffin. So it said a few weeks earlier. How long had she been alive? This whole story is not right. Clark was quickly rescued and transferred to the hospital where she was put on life support machine. Sadly, however, despite the quick intervention, she died for real this time a few hours later. She opened her eyes and was sweating, a cemetery janitor said, who had, called it in. I immediately went to the office and called the police. The woman's outraged family is now seeking an explanation of how this could have happened. In the original article from MSN, I've seen CNN or CNN, SBC, or whatever. I've seen MSN covering it. Definitely their protocols, it's Peru. It's not like it is here in America. So I think you're safe if you die here in America. You're not going to go through what this horrible experience this woman had before she eventually did die.
What did they think she died from? The cause of death?
Well, she was in a car accident.
So
she would have been malnutrition.
She was in a coma.
Yeah, but I guess they don't do. My questions are, here in America, you would be embalmed. For one, that would kill you. So I guess they don't do that there. But it sounds like they had her released for a week or so.
Or they waited. They don't process as fast.
Yeah, I don't know. How does this happen? And that's it is they used to put bells over people's graves. They used to be so scared of it back in the day, and medical practices weren't the up and up they are now, right? They're still not in Peru. Don't die in Peru or half die. You know what I'm saying? Make sure if you die all the way, or you're going to go for this horrible woman went through.
Drive safe in Peru.
Horrible experience this woman went through. And that's horrible to think that it would have been a great story if she'd lived, she survived it and they brought her back. And then we'd be like, what happened? Were you in a morgue for a week trying to get people's attention? Oh my God. That is the stuff of nightmares. That's what I'm leaving you with on the World Wide Web of Weird. Is stuff of nightmares there. If you're like me and have had that, I've had the dream of being unable to move, and I'm not in a morgue, but where I was being buried alive. One time I had that dream. So this poor woman, horrible way. And I don't understand how it could go that long. If this story is a couple days later in the morgue or a day later in the morgue, this is 2 weeks later. They get ready to actually put her in the ground. And literally somebody at the funeral home, a janitor, recognized that she's not dead. That's it. Stuff of nightmares.
Some countries, they don't, in Taiwan, they'll bury the body first, then they wait for it to decompose naturally, all that, and then pull it out. So different countries have different processing. So I'm wondering if they just thought she died, but she was really in a coma.
Whatever the process is, they need to fix it, because that's some scary stuff. All right, we got to go, though. We got our guests tonight, our medium Karen Noe and artist Marie Antoinette Kelley. We're going to talk about the Angel Oracle deck when we come back from the short commercial break. We will open up the phone lines later in the show, about an hour from now. We'll open the phone lines. You can call in, ask questions of our guests. Maybe we'll get them to pull a new one of their cards out of their world deck for you. We'll see. When we come back from the short commercial break.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do voices from beyond the cold case files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Of the second kind, physical evidence of a UFO. Close encounters of the third kind, contact. From Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, comes one of the most ambitious and unusual films ever made. And what you will see has never been seen before. It's a cosmic mystery crossing what many scientists believe will be the next threshold of human experience. It is called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It begins in an Indiana town and leads to one inescapable conclusion. We are not alone. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Certificate A. Now showing at the Odeon, Leicester Square.
The international chart-topping, Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest. The true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles of the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe, 5 by 5.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, our guests are Marie Antoinette Kelley and medium Karen Noe. Karen Noe is a renowned psychic medium, spiritual counselor, and healer with a 2-year waiting list for appointments and consultations. She's also author of several books. This is her first Oracle deck. Karen is also the founder of the Angel Quest Center in Waldwick, New Jersey, where she teaches classes, gives readings, and practices alternative healing. You can listen to Karen. She has the Angel Quest radio show. And you can go to HudsonRiverRadio.com to listen to that. And she has a website, KarenNoe.com. That's Karen, N-O-E, is her last name.com. Marie Antoinette Kelley is a self-taught artist, had done hundreds of portraits and whose work is well known throughout Montana. Her art has been featured in local magazines and newspapers such as the Billings, Gazette, the Rural Montana, the Bozone, the Montana Pioneer. In 2019, the Delaware North General Store began settling her artwork in the form of woven blankets throughout Yellowstone National Park. You can learn more about Marie Antoinette by visiting her website. MakeFineArt.com. It's MakeFineArt.com. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Angel Oracle deck. As you guys, if you watched the show or listened to me before, I have a lot of different tarot decks I collect, and some Oracle decks. I've never been able to give a reading on an Oracle deck. Be interesting to hear what she has to say tonight. Of course, Jamie and Rob, they have the Weird Wednesday show. They definitely pull Oracle cards on that show for people. So I definitely want them to chime in tonight on this too. And I know I have a ton of you in the audience who are Oracle deck collectors. I've heard it. I've seen it. I know you guys love your Oracle deck, so I thought it'd be a good idea to have on to talk about this new deck. And we will open up the phone lines an hour from now in the show after the next commercial break for you to call in, ask questions of our guest tonight. But we got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get rolling on into it. All right, I got to add them to the stream here. There's Karen and Marie.
Hi.
All right. Hello.
Hi, Jason.
How you ladies doing? It's an honor to have you on the show. Karen, you were on the show 3 years ago.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot different now.
Yeah.
Back then we were doing a 2-hour show. Tonight we're doing a 3-hour show is what we've been doing. I don't know how late you ladies can hang in there tonight or what you guys want to do later in the show. We're going to open up the phone lines later. Would you guys want to pull some cards tonight from your new deck for some callers? What, one card per call, nothing more than that.
Okay.
I'd be interested to see. Yeah, awesome. All right, so we'll start with Karen. You've been on the show before, but it's been 3 years, so I'd like you to tell a little bit of the audience about who you are, how this journey started for you.
Oh boy. Well, I am a.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah. I am a psychic medium. People ask me if I've always been psychic, and the answer is yes, but not to the extent that I am now. About 25 years ago, I was going through a difficult time in my life. And at that time, I just sat at the edge of my bed and I yelled at God and the angels. And I said, am I going to be okay? And with that, I saw a light that came towards me from the other side of the room. And as it was coming towards me, my first response was, if you're not of God, please leave. And the more I said that, the more it kept coming towards me. And eventually it enveloped me. And at that time, I heard an audible voice that said, Lucia Lucina, Bella Lucia Lucina. I don't know if there are any Italian listeners out there, but I'll tell you what it means. It means light, little light, beautiful little light. And
I knew the beautiful part. I knew the Bella.
Yeah, and I've since learned it was St. Francis of Assisi. You could tell my background there. St. Francis is the ascended master of angels, of animals, I'm sorry, and peace and love and so forth. But right after that experience, I started receiving messages from angels and deceased loved ones. And I did not want to share this information with people. I thought they'd think I was not in my right mind. But the more I shared the information, the more they realized I was getting true messages from deceased loved ones, the things that I would never know, that we could maybe share later. But really very specific messages. And the rest is history. Then I said, okay, maybe I will, do healing in the back of a hair salon. I do Reiki. So whenever I did Reiki on people, I would receive messages during that time. And the rest is history. Then after the first appointment, they told a few people, and then they told a few people. Eventually, I was booked years ahead
Now,
of
two-year waiting list in
Yeah.
your bio.
Yeah, and now I'm not doing, not taking any new clients anymore because
Right.
my old clients want to come back to see me, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 2 years. So,
You know you're good if they keep coming back. You know,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
obviously.
Well, I don't know if
You
I'm
know,
good, but
I
I
really,
love my clients, so I love
I
that.
really enjoyed your book when we had you on 3 years ago, We Consciousness. I really enjoyed it, and one of the parts I remember brought it back to me is you're talking about your experience that really started this for you, seeing the light. I had that a very similar kind of experience. Not that I got mediumship abilities, but I was being attacked by something dark and
really?
negative on the spiritual side, and I called out for God to save me, and there was a big bright light in my room. I mean, that's what it was. Like, you kind of remember, brought that back to me when I remember you were when I read your book. So I found that really interesting. Now, Marie, you are a graphic artist. How did you get involved in making an oracle deck, for one? And is this your first foray into the kind of the spiritual world?
No, I'm an oil painting artist and I do portraits, but I have a partnership with Karen. I did some illustrations in an earlier book of hers, and I also did the cover art for one of her books. So she had a little bit of connection with me, but then she had actually a prompting from the angelic realm to create an angel deck, and she knew that it needed to be me at the similar time that I had a prompting from the angelic realm that I should make a deck, and I hadn't connected it to anybody yet. I was still at the idea stage of it. So that morning, it was on
Yeah.
a Sunday morning, I remember she called me. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was still in bed because I'm an artist, so I go to bed late, and she gets up early. And so she was thinking it was midday and she could just call me. But I was still in bed, and I remember the phone call, and she said, "Would you like to do an angel deck with me?" And I said, absolutely. And it was that easy for us to sign on with each other. And we just had a really good time creating this product together.
Well, I've talked on the show as a musician, and I used to really be into art and painting, and then I kind of I don't know, I lost it. But whenever I'd create a piece of art or whenever I'd write a song, I always felt that I was channeling it in a sense. Like, it came out of me. There was not a lot of thought, like, wow, this is really deep, or the song, the lyrics, what'd you do? How'd you write that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
And I do see artists as channelers too, for information, and
I could relate to that.
You go to a zone.
Yeah, definitely, yes. It's just that creative process. I mean, I go in and out of that space because then, being a fine artist, you have to pay attention to the detail. In order to do that, I kind of have to step out of the zone and go to my rational mind. So then the angst starts and the frustration, and then I go back to that place that you call the zone, and then I get like that feeling back. And so it's a tug of war between those two sides until I get the finished product. But I always end on that high note where I know I got the feeling that I was going after.
Now, how did you guys collaborate on this? How did this team work together to create this deck?
You go.
Well, we did each and every card together. So I said, okay, for example, the Going Within card. I said, okay, we're doing Going Within. I'm channeling the messages from the angels, and you do the artwork. And we went back and forth with each and every card. It's unlike, most angel oracle decks or tarot cards. They don't do that, or so I've been told. Marie Antoinette.
I feel that I have a friend who is a successful artist in oracle decks as well, and he gets asked for his artwork, which they then find a message for. So I did know that was unique about how we work together, because we got to design the whole thing from beginning to end. We actually started with wanting to represent the angels, and then we got complicated because we had some cards where angels were represented 3 times and other angels couldn't fit in the deck, and it got messy. So we realized we wanted to go to a place where we could represent qualities that angels could then back up or communicate to you about. And so we steered it that way. And then we said, well, what if there's a quality such as the one she just pulled about going within? What does that mean to us? And so in that sense, it's what you said earlier, that I got to channel that information too, because I've had a lifetime full of spiritual experiences, and also those experiences that you both talked about, messages of good or dark energies coming from the other side. And so all of that just got, all our life experiences kind of came together, don't you think, Karen, where we just talked together and said, what does this mean and how did we relate to it? So it's a very personal deck for us.
Yeah, it was a great experience working together. It was, then we became closer friends this way too.
Yeah, we did.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's your baby you're creating together that,
Absolutely.
it's going to live on. And there's, I won't mention the name, but in the Oracle deck circles, there was a creator of Oracle decks that basically went full, I guess, Christian and like denounced her decks. And that caused a stir in the Oracle deck community.
This is why we created this deck.
Yeah.
Because what I was teaching angel card readings at my center in New Jersey. And I didn't want to share those. I had some of those cards and I didn't want to use those cards anymore. And I said, I'm just doing my own. I've been, guided to do this for a long time and I just didn't. I've been using somebody else's. So yeah, that was a difficult situation there. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not the only one.
True.
I mean, I've known others. Go ahead.
And it's so true that the Oracle decks, they're just tapping into an energy, whether it's your own energy or the energy of the angel that is trying to communicate with you. And when that author that you hinted at denounced her decks, you could feel the energy change. It was just something that Karen then said, I need to do my own for that very reason, because when we got together, we had to bring ourselves and what we related, me in my case the artwork and Karen in her case the messages, to this deck. But both of us, I think, were super stunned that after we got the product in our hands, I know I was, at least when I pulled a card, I knew what I had put into it, what I had dreamed up and what I had connected with when I created the artwork, and how we had collaborated on the messages. But when the whole thing came together and the art and the messages were together, the product was literally bigger than the sum of its parts. It took on something that surprised me. I was like, oh my God, this is alive. It's actually working. And it was so cool because it took it to the place of energy beyond what we had created.
And Karen, for me, like I said, I haven't done Oracle deck readings before, except for maybe pulling a card on here and trying my worst probably at it. But I got into tarot, and I always knew about the tarot. I could look at a card and find multiple meanings in one card, and it's always what my attention's drawn to first that I go with in the card, because there could be multiple different meanings in one card. Is that kind of how it works with your Oracle deck?
Yeah, absolutely. It's what does it really mean to you? I do have a guidebook that goes with it if somebody doesn't know how to do it. So it's very easy to use. They shuffle the cards, they pick a card, whatever the card is, it says a message on it, and then they can look in the Oracle in the guidebook. But better yet, I'd say, okay, what does this particular card mean to you? And absolutely, one day you could look at it and it could mean one thing, another day something else. So.
Now, is there for Oracle decks, is there certain ways to spread out the cards like you do with the tarot? You have the Celtic Cross and all that?
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways of doing readings. I like the most common way is just, what do I need to know today? And you just shuffle the deck, you do one card, and sometimes the card flies out of the deck. Sometimes it clumps together the deck as you're shuffling, and you just know which card to pick, or you just take the deck and you go like this. This is the one I need to know. But that's the one I like to use every day. But you can also do past, present, future. There's different types of spreads that I incorporate in the book. Very simple to do.
So one thing I always thought about the Oracle is like, I don't think I'm failing at it because of its complexity.
No,
It seems simple. It's just like I'm so used to the tarot that when I go to the Oracle deck, I feel lost. For somebody new that's beginning out, like hasn't done tarot or hasn't done an Oracle deck before, what's the best way to start with your deck?
Well, the most important thing to do is you have to clear the energy off the deck, whoever touched the cards before. So you take the card deck in the hand you do not write with. So I am lefty. I don't know, it looks the opposite when I'm looking at you, but I'm lefty. So I'm holding the deck in my right hand, and you click on the deck, and that takes the energy off anybody that touched the deck before you. That's very important that it's only your energy on the deck, okay? So then you take each and every card like this and put your energy on 44 cards, right? Don't let anybody touch the cards after you do this. Then all you need to do is create an intention. You make a fan of the deck and you put it over your heart chakra or your third eye, and you set the intention for a clear, accurate angel card reading. That's it. and then you say, what do I need to know? Shuffle the deck, and the angels will tell you when to stop. You'll see. It's use your intuition, and you just take either the top deck. You know, can you see that looks like Marie Antoinette? I just noticed this Marie Antoinette. It looks like you.
Oh, really?
Does look like her.
Not me.
Well,
That wasn't
That's
intentional.
funny. No, it was not intentional. Whoops.
But yeah, so it's very simple. And if you need a more detailed, like the message is directly on the card itself. For example, this one is loving kindness. Angel Chamuel is summoning you to be more understanding and sensitive. Now you say, what does that mean to me? Am I not being sensitive enough? Blah, blah, blah. You think about it. And then you could just look in the guidebook, and it gives you a more detailed explanation if you can't figure it out yourself. Very easy to use. And the
Probably
angels are talking to everyone. So, yeah.
well, that's the thing. I mean, let's get into what angels are. I mean, because there's a lot been debate about that for hundreds of years. What angels are. What are angels to you? What do they represent?
So we all have guardian angels who are with us from the moment we're born all the way through our life that are just our angels. Whether or not you believe in them or not, they're with you. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose by calling upon your angel. So if you don't know your guardian angel's name, just say, guardian angel, be with me now. What should I do? And then you use your intuition, whether it be your higher self, your angels, it doesn't matter, and you'll be guided as to what to do. Then there are archangels. Okay, the archangels can be with more than one person at a time, such as Archangel Gabriel, Raphael, Michael, Uriel. There's so many. And you're not taking them away from somebody who is calling upon them, who needs them more than you do. Okay, and then there are ascended masters. Those are people who have been here in the physical plane, who have received, attained a, what's the word I'm looking for? A higher vibration,
Right.
Buddhahood, so Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, and so forth. They've been here in the physical body. And then there are deceased loved ones that we could call upon. And then there are also beings in other dimensions, other areas of the universe as well.
Well, see, I've always wondered who my guardian angels are. There's this one woman that's popped up in my dreams several times who's represented herself as pretty much my guardian angel. She's an older black woman. And usually when I've had the few dreams I can count on my hand that I've had, they're very intense and very important when I have them. She's usually worried about me. It's usually this shake of the head, like we got to have this talk. And and then they've been good. I mean, in a sense, they woke me up. All those dreams did. One of the dreams I had, she showed me where she was my mother in a past life.
Wow.
So I don't know if I want to call her a guardian angel. I don't know if she's an angel because she was a human.
She could be a spirit guide. Your spirit guide.
Spirit guide, yeah. So
I see a
but there's
Rose.
a difference,
I don't know
right?
if her name is Rose, but
I don't know what her name is. I've never learned her name. All these years, I would love to know what her name is. You said Rose?
Yeah, I see a Rose. What does that mean? I don't know. It could be her name, or she's sending you love.
Yeah. When I've seen her in a dream, she's in a very 1920s, 30s kind of garb. When I've seen her, when I saw her as my mother, we were slaves, so it was an even earlier period. So I don't know what it means.
Oh, wow.
She's the closest thing I know to a guardian angel. She's stepped in my dreams very intensely about 4 times in my life to kind of steer me a little bit, I think, or wake me up. So I've always been fascinated by what our spirit guides are, or guardian angels. I mean, something saved me the night I was being attacked by a demon. Now I can or a shadow person, or I don't know what to call it, but I called out to God, and I had a relative step through that white light.
Wow.
It was a great grandfather of mine. I didn't know it at that time. But when I saw a picture of him, I'm like, yep, that was him. So I do believe they're your ancestors, at least. Or people maybe tied to you through your soul group are watching over you, or a part of your life in some consistent way. Is it just angels that are going to communicate through this deck?
No, we could communicate with our deceased loved ones or any other beings of light. And they just give us messages that we need to know, right? Some of them, it says the angels when I said, some of them are archangels.
Right.
But others are deceased loved ones and so forth. So, yeah.
I mean, we've on this show, I've had a lot of different opinions of what angels are. Are they, these extra dimensional beings, or are they the biblical wrathful angels, or are they just souls that have, are like you said, Buddha, Jesus, people who've ascended higher.
All of the above. Depends,
Yeah,
you know.
for me,
Yeah.
that's, I always have that same feeling too, but I also feel the extra angle on that is when you misspell the word angel. For me, it was like that aha moment when I realized it's an angle of consciousness. And I feel like whoever the being is behind the scenes or in spirit that is making that connection with you to get you your inspiration, they're switching the angle at which you're looking at things or relating to life, or maybe are stuck in your struggle. And so for me, an angel is very much also whoever it is that changes the angle of your consciousness so that you can be open to a solution or a more flowing way of living, and let that love back in.
That's a beautiful way to look at it, an angle. If you say it wrong, because I know all my years I'll be writing, I've spelled it that way probably more than once by accident.
Right?
But you know, maybe there is some deeper meaning in that, and because I know for at least my spirit guide, you know, she's angel to me. She definitely made me relook at my life differently every time she's intervened.
Yeah, right, exactly. So your angle shifted, and from that you got unstuck. That's how I experienced it. Most of the time when we call on an angel or a being from the other side, it's because we're stuck. It's either depressing or just stuck. And that angle gets you unstuck. It's like you're stuck in that eddy on the river of life, and all of a sudden you're floating back in the water.
Now, Karen, you've been communicating with spirits and angels for a while now. Developing this ability, I mean, like you had your experience and it kind of hit you, but you've developed it. What steps besides using this deck, do you think people could do to help them kind of develop this ability to speak with the other side and to speak with the angels?
This is the best. That's a great question, because the whole purpose of doing all of this is not to tell people what I can do. It's to teach people what I can do, because everybody can do it. Just like everybody could play the piano, that is if they have fingers and hands and so forth. Some people
maybe not well. I know I wouldn't.
Right? Some people could play scales. Other people could play great masterpieces. But it's the same thing with connecting with those who've passed, connecting with the angels and beings from other dimensions and so forth. So what happens is after we leave the physical body, the essence of who we are one with everyone and everything. And that's what we were talking about the last time you interviewed me, you know, with the we consciousness. And you feel that connection in an instant after you leave the physical body. Because right now it feels like I'm over here, you're over there, and Marie Antoinette is over there and so forth, but we're not. And in an instant, you'll feel that connection. So the reason why I'm saying that is they're pure love. We are pure love. And we have to be more on par with who we are. We have to be more on par with the source within all of us. And God is within all of us. We don't have, if you want to call it God, source, creator, universe, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. So it's like tuning to 1300 AM and you want to connect with 3200 FM. You won't be able to connect if you're down here and they're up here.
Right.
Right? So there's a lot of steps that we could take, you know, become more compassionate, practice forgiveness, eat in a more compassionate way. And I could go on and on about that. We could also ask our loved ones or deceased loved ones or the angels to give us, I call them without a doubt signs. That is signs that happen to us, things that normally don't happen, such as a bird lands on my shoulder after I asked Aunt Ellen to give me a sign to let me know she's with me, and a bird lands on me. Birds don't normally do that. And I could tell you so many signs that have happened to me and my clients, crazy things. You know, a car cuts you off, you're driving, and you look at the license plate, it's your loved one's name, right? Or you're talking about your loved one, it's their birthday, and their song comes on the radio with the words that you need to hear, you know, at that time. Or something, trying to get a message, something's going on with their family, and a bird's pecking at your window. I mean, I could go on and on with very specific signs. But I call them without a doubt signs, and we can all do that. So I would say, ask the angels, ask deceased loved ones to give us a sign without a doubt, and then be patient and wait, and the sign will come when you least expect it. Also, I would say to ask them to come to you in a dream, as you were talking about, to come to you in a dream, but to wake you up after the dream so you remember it.
Right.
Because if you don't wake up after the dream, you will not remember it. You might, you know, they may come to you first thing when you first go to sleep, you sleep all night and you just won't remember it. So make sure, be patient and wait, and the dream will come when you least expect it. Now, how do you tell the difference between a real visitation from an angel or a deceased loved one, or a dream from your subconscious. It's apparent. A dream from your subconscious may be scary, you know, how your deceased loved one passed away, that they're angry at you, or, you know, they're in a casket or something like that. That's your subconscious trying to resolve issues
Right.
that are going on in your life. A true visitation from a deceased loved one or an angel, you would know without a doubt. You'd feel like you've won the lottery. It feels complete love and
Yeah.
peace. Like you knew that they were trying to help you. You knew it, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
just pick up and you know without a doubt. It's a different feeling. So if you have a question about it, if you're saying, why is my dad coming to me in a dream and he's so angry at me? That's you. That's you trying to resolve the issues that you have with your dad.
Oh, that makes I can relate to that big time. I mean, my grandmother passed away from Alzheimer's. I at first had these horrible dreams, and I did not feel it was her coming to me. I definitely knew it was my subconscious of like her, when I had last seen her gasping for air, and she'd be in a different room of my parents' house for some reason in the dreams, and like lost and confused, and it was just, I knew this was my subconscious. But I've had dreams of her when she's like come to me, when I feel like it's her. I feel it. It's almost the same feeling that I had when I was saved by that bright light and my great grandfather from the shadow person. It's this immense pure love. I really awake. I've only felt that twice in my life, and that was when I was saved by God, and another time when I think I probably saw my son before he was born. That's a whole other story. I believe he came to me. Those 2 times when I was awake, I felt that. But in a dream, I felt that. I've felt that a few times, and that's when my grandmother has come to me. And I knew that was a visit because of that feeling alone. And it's like, it's like winning the lottery. It's like, oh my God, I get to see you and hug you one more time.
Exactly. If I could share a story.
Yeah, please.
And my mom's been coming to me in dreams, very profound dreams. But
Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I did not even mention that. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. So my mom was a very quiet woman. And what happens is if your deceased loved one is coming to you in a dream, they retain the same personality as they had when they were here in the physical body. So if they were quiet in life, they'll still be quiet. And if they're loud, you know, whether it be in readings or in dreams and so forth. So I said to my mother, I said, Ma, I love to hear your voice one more time. So one day I came home from work and I was really tired. And I said, I have to take a nap. And I went down to take a nap and I had a dream, but it was not a dream. It was a dream from my mom, without a doubt. I walked into a crowded room and my mother's voice came over the loudspeaker. And she said, I have an important announcement. I have an important announcement. And I knew that it was my mother. I said, Mom. And then I said, Mom, is that you? She goes, it's me. I love you. I am okay. And be well. I said, who are you with? And she said something that I didn't understand. And I said, Ma, say that again because I didn't understand you. And then she said, Nanny, who was her mother. And then the phone rang, woke me up, and I was able to remember it. And I felt like I won the lottery. You know, It was just a different type of feeling than if it was a bad, you know, I'm trying to resolve issues with my mom. She was there. I knew that she was there.
Yeah, and that's what I always tell people on the show. They ask to know. I'm like, it's a feeling. If you feel like it was her, then that was her.
Right, absolutely. I knew it was her.
Yeah, you can't deny the feeling. For you, Marie, you said you've had spiritual experiences before this oracle deck. Have you had communications with the other side through your artwork, you think, or?
Yeah, definitely. I was just pulling out the card. There's a card in the deck. It's called Signs from Your Deceased Loved Ones. And the reason we chose this card is because each card in the deck really has a story behind it that makes the card's energy so much more actually that particular message. But this was an actual dream of mine as well, because this man is the husband of a friend of my mom's, but I'm originally from the Netherlands, and so they're still in the Netherlands. And I hadn't talked to them in 25 years because I lived there as a young girl. And I just knew of him. And I knew that he had passed. But months after he had passed, he showed up in my dream, connecting with me. And he wanted to communicate something to his wife. And that's one of the reasons that I feel we are sometimes burdened with not being able to understand the other side is because there's things of ourselves in the way that we can't let go of. Like you said, when you had to process your subconscious for your grandma in order to really understand, her passing. But it was the same with her. This was a lady in the Netherlands who was grieving so hard because her dilemma, as he explained to me in the dream, he came to me and said, without using words, because it's very telepathic, will you paint me? It's like that's another way I think that you're having a visitation, because the words they're not sequentially like sentences. They just all arrive and instantly the whole story.
It's a knowing,
without the words, without the words having been spelled out. And so I understood that he wanted me to paint her, reaching out to her, because her grief was very specific in her way. She said she really wanted him to be well, but if he's well after he had died, he would be in the light, and that would mean he was far away in some heavenly space. And if he was around her, accessible in world, then he would, in her mind, be a stuck spirit. And she didn't wish that on him, because she knew that stuck spirits are the grieving ones, or the burdened ones, and the ones that are unhappy. So she could not connect with him after he had died because of that dilemma in her head. If she connected with him, that meant he was a stuck spirit. And if he was happy as she wished him, he would be in the light somewhere far away. And he came to me in the dream on the other side of the world saying, please paint me in the light, reaching out to her, because I am both in the light and right around her. I can connect with her. So I did. I painted him as I saw him in that dream.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to paint him with the butterfly, really colorful, because I like painting with colors. And every time I did, I would feel this pressure, because I wasn't dreaming anymore. This is now during the waking days. I feel this strong pressure. Painted white. So I'd go over it, wipe it out, and make it white. And when she finally I had the painting finished. I didn't tell her I had done it, because that's where I was still struggling with the ability to pick up communications. Like Karen mentioned earlier, you feel like people are going to judge you that you're a little bit off at first before you're comfortable with it. But I just kept the painting. And then actually that summer, she came to visit my mom. So that made her come to me. And when she came, I was able to give her the painting. And she completed the rest of the story, because first she confirmed, she was obviously very much in tears, because apparently the story was exactly right. That is the very reason she was struggling with her grief, was for that very reason. And so I was able to tell her, look, he's using me to get through to you, so please stop thinking that way, because he's all around you. And she said for the last 2 months in the Netherlands, she had been visited by a white butterfly. And I'm here in America. She was in Holland. We hadn't talked. I had no knowledge of it. It was an awesome confirmation for the both of us of the reality of the experience. We had a half a world away. And that was very healing for her. And then both Karen and I agreed that if it was healing for one person, it's going to be healing for everybody who recognizes these stories can happen to them. So that's why it made it into the deck.
And you wanted to color, so you were saying you wanted to make the butterfly have color like a butterfly. I was like, butterfly, but it told you no, make it a white butterfly.
That's right. I relate to the other side as a very colorful place, and you see that in all my artwork. But he was specific because he was connecting with her through that white butterfly on the other side of the ocean, and I wasn't aware of that. I would just feel that big no every time I started adding color, and I had to end up painting it white. And then when she came, that settled my mind when she said, "Oh, there was a white butterfly in my garden for the last 2 months, just chasing me," and now she knew. So the whole that simple butterfly made everything fall into place. And she, of course, also had the feeling from the painting, because the feeling did come through and then healed her dilemma. So that was really a beautiful thing.
Somebody pulled that card. What is the general meaning of that card? I missed that at the beginning when you started talking about that.
Well, the message on here says your departed loved ones are giving you signs to let you know they are with you. And so then there's a more message in the guidebook. But it is that idea that they really are connecting with you, and don't let your grief stand in the way.
You got to be able to see the signs. We've talked about that on this show a lot. It's incredible to me. The story, I tell people I love the paranormal stories and haunted house stories, alien stories, but my favorite stories are the messages that people get from their loved ones. Not just the ones where they see them in front of them or that, but the way they do things through synchronicity, like you said, the song on the radio, or using animals. And I had an experience with a praying mantis once. I believe was my wife's grandmother helping me out with my son on a field trip. A praying mantis and a what they called between her and her, it was they They used to call them red jays. There was a cardinal, but that was a joke between my wife's grandmother and her. And I actually had a red jay and this mantis fighting each other on these train tracks on a field trip that totally took my son's meltdown away. And I go,
That's
thanks,
awesome.
Mimi, like I knew it was her. It's crazy how spirit can communicate through all these different random events. It seems like in randomness, spirit and angels are able to manipulate things and communicate with us. Am I missing it? Or I think that's what I see.
Absolutely. No, they do. And if I may share another, I have so many signs that I could share with you, but it shows you whatever personality they had when they were here, they continue with that personality. And I had a friend, Marion, who was so loud and was a practical joker, right? So, and I would recommend this to everyone who's listening too. What I did after she passed, I wrote her a letter, believe it or not. And I said, how much I loved her and so forth. And I said, Marion, give me a sign, a without a doubt sign. When I say without a doubt, it's something that you normally would not happen. Give me a sign to let me know that you're aware of what I just wrote to you. And then a couple of days later, I was walking down on my porch, walking down the stairs to put letters in my mailbox, and a bird was screaming at the top of its lungs. I've never heard this. I mean, when I say screaming, wah! Like that in the tree, looking at me. And I'm looking and I'm going down the path. I said, Marion, is that you? And, and then what happened then I knew it was her without a doubt. I walked to the mailbox, put the letters in the mailbox, and the bird flew to the mailbox. Birds don't fly towards you, they fly away.
Yeah.
And looking at me, wow! And I said, Mary, oh my God, I love you so much. Oh my God. And I look across the street, my neighbor's looking at me like she thought I lost my mind, but I didn't care. And I'm saying, oh my God, I love you. Thank you so much. I take out my cell phone. My son is in the house. And I said, Tim, come outside. Marion's here. And he said, huh? I said, just come outside. And he witnessed the whole thing. It doesn't end here. I could go on and on, but let me just say one more. 2 days later, a mutual friend of Marion and myself, a friend of ours, Carol, calls me. She said, you're not going to believe what Marion did. She gave me a sign. I said, okay, I'll tell you what she did to me. What did she do to you? She said, Karen, I just painted my kitchen. I opened the sliding glass door. A bird flew into my kitchen, pooped all over my wall, and then flew right out. And she said, thanks, Marion. She knew it was her. So it was
didn't like the paint.
It was typical Marion.
Yeah, commenting on the color. That's awesome.
Right.
We had a famous video on here. I can't remember how many years ago. Of the people who were, I can't remember. It was a child that came through on but with a bird. It was like they videotaped the whole thing. It was like landing on their arm and hands, like doing stuff a bird should not do.
Right.
They're but it was, and people talk about this all the time about. Especially birds. I don't know what it is about birds. Maybe it's the easiest thing for these spirits to use, or I don't want to say manipulate.
They can use their energy to go inside the bird to let you know they're with you. They're not always a bird. People ask me, is Marion always a bird? No, but she was able to get in there somehow. I don't know.
I mean, our ancestors have been, telling us this for thousands of years about, spirit animals and communication with animals. And I think a lot of it has to do with the other side, being able to communicate through the matrix or whatever this is, through randomness and animals. Now, the theme with randomness, we do Spirit Box night on this show where we have a Spirit Box that has random audio bits, and they're bits, chopped up bits. You shouldn't get words of voices, but we get voices, we get messages, and with tarot and oracle decks, that's a random card being pulled through. It seems like there's somehow, it's like where the tree in the forest falls where nobody can hear it kind of deal. That in that quantum realm of what's going to be picked, is the cat alive or dead, that randomness field, these spirits are able to manipulate things. Like make a song come on the radio. How does that happen, How does spirit make these synchronistic things happen to be able to communicate? And if they can do that, they definitely can communicate through an oracle deck.
Well, I think about that a lot. And for me, the answer has been I started life as a scientist and ended up as an artist. And so I have this whole story in my head about the left brain and the right brain, but the left brain is that rational mind where you analyze your science, and then the right brain is where you do the intuitive, the colorful, the random, the chaotic, but you bring it to life with your feelings. And just to summarize it, but I feel that we as human beings, spirit is everywhere. God is all and in all, and it's always communicating, but it's our rational mind, from what I can tell, that stops that receiving, that understanding. Even though you try so hard to understand it with your rational mind, it's actually what stops you from getting it, because birds and animals and spirits, animals that get the messages, don't analyze with a rational mind. They simply get the message, pass it on, and move on. And if you are in that right brain or in that intuition, and you feel that oneness with everybody, and you're in the flow, you bypass your own rational mind. It's rather easy to receive the messages and see them for what they are.
I think it's like blue car syndrome. Like once you start noticing the blue cars, you're going to notice them. You're going to keep noticing them.
Yeah,
like once you open yourself up to the synchronicity,
Yes.
you're going to
Yeah.
start seeing it. You're getting the messages
Yeah.
more.
One time I was painting a painting, if you want me to tell that story.
Yeah.
There was somebody who had contacted me over the internet, and she wanted me to paint her deceased loved one. He was a male that a man she had been married to for a lot of years. So I got her photo, and she didn't tell me much about him. And this is when I was just breaking into that ability to trust my intuition enough to add to the painting. I wasn't just going for the literal interpretation and of what the photo was asking for. And so I wanted to put him in the stars. And I was like, why do I want to do that? That's a little out there. But I trusted it, and I went for it. And as I was painting him in the stars, I kept wanting to put on this music of John Denver. And I was like, all right, I'll put John Denver's getting me in the flow. And I'm just jamming away to John Denver while I'm painting him. And every song was jumping some phrase out of me. You know how he sings about my lady, and I love my lady, and I miss my lady. And I was like, this is no longer sounding like John Denver. I feel like this guy is using John Denver to get through to me. So I actually just put up paint brushes down. I got to my computer, and I decided to write that down to his lady. I wrote the message. I said, this John Denver song is starting to get really alive for me, and it keeps pointing out to me, he misses his lady, he loves his lady. So I wrote her a message. I get a message back from her, and she was in tears. She goes, every morning at 10 o'clock, I walk our doggies, and I play my John Denver music, and I cry because I miss him so much. So I wrote her back and said, will you stop missing him? Because he's starting to harass me and getting through to you that he is not really gone. And so I ended up just finishing the painting in the universe and with all the stars. And at that point, she received the painting. She was grateful for it. But at that point, she felt over her, initial privacy, and she started to share more personal things with me. And at that point, she thought it was helpful to share his memorial poem that he had picked, because he had cancer. He knew he was going to die, and he had picked a poem for his own memorial, and it was from The Little Prince, and it was, in the stars I shall be living, in the stars I shall be laughing. And every time when you look at the stars at night, you will hear my laugh. And I was like, oh, that would have been helpful for me if I knew that before. Myself so much, because he was clearly coming through. And this is what we all struggle with, as I was mentioning earlier. I feel that rational mind is that doubt. Just trust more. And I learned from every one of these experiences myself.
Well, that's why I think artists are able to tune into this so well, like you, because the artist doesn't go to the rational mind. It goes to the creative.
Right.
It opens up to that intuitive sense.
Yes.
And there's a feeling, and you know what you want to paint, and you're feeling it. It's like they're able to communicate to that part of the brain. That's a great way to look at it. That's the point. That's the part of the brain they're able to access to communicate and pass messages through. That's amazing. There's some famous psychics out there that are artists. They're able to do readings for people and actually draw the loved ones passed on. I've seen that evidence.
Mm-hmm.
So but it's incredible. You get the picture and you connect with energy. I had my one medium, really seriously, I knew all these things I shouldn't have known, was holding a picture of a man who had been deceased in the picture. It was at his funeral. I knew nothing about him, and I knew I should know nothing about him, but I knew all this information, and his first name, and pretty much knew his last name. And it was all that picture holding that energy. I can only imagine what kind of energy you create when an artist takes a picture and creates it and connects with it that much. You really are creating probably something that's carrying that person's spiritual energy in that painting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I have more stories about all of that, but I think it's time for Karen to tell one.
You know what I wanted to add though about
Yeah.
you said how can people receive messages from the angels or their deceased loved ones? Most people expect to hear a voice or to see
Right.
an apparition of their loved one or an angel, but they're not a physical body. So they won't necessarily come as a apparition or a voice. They'll come as thoughts. They'll come
Yes.
as thoughts that just pop in your head for no reason or intuition, right? So how do you tell the difference between your thoughts and their thoughts? That's the key. Your thoughts will have an originating thought. So in other words, say you're thinking about Aunt Ellen and you say, okay, what did I think of first that made me think of this thought? If you saw a picture of her that triggered a thought, that's you. But if you're driving and then all of a sudden something Aunt Ellen said to you 20 years ago just pops in your head, chances are it is Aunt Ellen talking to you. So you trace your thoughts to the beginning. If a thought triggered a thought, I hope I'm making sense.
No, you
That's
totally
you.
to me are.
If
Yeah.
it just pops in your head, that's them. So notice the thoughts. They speak to us telepathically rather
yeah.
than,
Well,
as a picture or as a voice.
Well, like I said, when I had my experience of holding that photo of that deceased person, I mean, it was my inner voice.
Exactly.
But I'm like, why is it telling me this name? His name's Bill. Like it came out. I wasn't trying to do a reading. I wasn't trying to do anything. I just was handed this photo, and I blurted out his name's William, but he goes by Bill. And then I knew the last name. I could even hear the last name whispering. It was my inner voice, but I could tell it was not my thought process. You know, and it's one of the ways I knew that is by, I'm not good at it anymore, but I used to meditate a lot at that time in my life. And part of the meditation is you recognize thoughts as they come and let them go.
Exactly.
But you have to recognize them and recognize where did that thought process come from? Why is that? Why am I having it? You get more in depth with that inner voice, I guess.
Exactly.
Knowing
and by
what
the way, that
difference is.
meditation is very helpful in connecting with deceased loved ones and angels. I do it every day. It really is. You tap into, you quiet your thoughts so that later on in the day you could hear theirs. Not during meditation, but later on in the day.
Yeah.
You're training yourself to do that.
You'll know it. You start. I think the best mediums just are so in tune to that inner voice, knowing the difference. They know when they have a message. I mean, my friend Katrina Cooper is a medium. When she says she's going to say something, she stands by it, wrong or not. If she's wrong, okay, maybe I was off, but she goes with it. She goes with that first thought. And all the really good mediums I know have said that, that they go with that first initial little voice thought that comes into their head because it came out of nowhere. It didn't come from them. They weren't trying to imagine anything. That's the hard part for somebody like me. I'm a very imaginative person, and stop my brain from going into imagination land. Like it is a creative, the right brain, or whatever, or left brain, what part of the brain's getting creative there. But at the same time, when you're trying to tune into that, it's like you have to let all that go.
Exactly.
And that's the hard part, I think, for most people. Is like what is just jibber jabber, my imagination, or is this something really trying to communicate with me? Now, an oracle deck helps you kind of have I always compared it with the tarot deck, and that for mediumship, and that is kind of like training wheels.
Well, an oracle deck is so much easier because it's right there. The message is right on the card. So you just have to let go and let it happen, right? In other words, don't try to analyze it, say, what do I need to know today? Shuffle the deck. Or you may have a specific question, should I take the new job? And then ask the angels. And then the answer is right there. And again, I don't know how they do it, but they do.
Yeah.
If the angels make the card fly out, or it makes you stop at the right card. Want to take that, Marie Antoinette, how the cards come through?
Well, yeah, I just feel when you say that the supportive energy of spirit, these cards are very supportive. They are just amplifying, having heard you talk about that quiet voice or the inner voice. What you hear on the inside seems to be amplified by these cards. Like something will jump out at you and you'll hear what you already heard inside louder now because of what it says on the card. It confirms what you somewhere inside of you already know. That's kind of how the cards work for me.
And doing tarot readings, which I've been better at, than I've ever done oracle. I will say, I'll be shuffling a card when I have done readings for people, shuffling the cards, and I almost know a little bit of which cards are going to get pulled first. Like I already almost feel it, because there's that inner voice telling me things. I'm like, oh, hold on. I haven't pulled the cards yet. And I pulled the card. I'm like, okay, well, that's going along with what that, and I'll go with that. You know, it's like the two and two kind of meet, you know.
Yeah, I feel that way. And I feel that whoever it is, the angels, the archangels, the spirit guides, whoever it is behind the scenes that's pushing through, is using these words to amplify that voice inside of you. And by using these cards, I believe that's what Karen initially wanted to accomplish with this deck also, is it trains you to recognize that voice faster and to listen a little easier so that that doubt maybe goes away to the background.
Karen, do you ever... I was going to ask Karen if you ever see... is that Jamie talking? Sorry, Jamie, go ahead. Sorry, what are you going to say?
I was saying I see it like an extra validation sometimes when you just know that you're on the right path and you just pull that card and it just validates everything for you.
Exactly.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Karen, do you ever see, like, before you, like, I always wondered, so, like, some of the people, like, they get so good at tarot decks and oracle cards that they just start seeing the cards in their mind, especially since you created this deck with, Marie.
Yeah.
As a way to communicate, like the spirit does. Hey, you don't even need your deck here. We're going to show you the card right here. This is what we're trying to tell you, Karen.
Exactly. No, it does happen. And you know what the answer is already. And you're just like, wow, that's amazing.
In fact, that's what happened to me at the beginning of this show, because you were talking about your spirit guide, the black lady that comes to you. And then Karen saw a rose, and I was like, a rose, there's a rose in the deck. And the rose is a painting that I painted that means grief, and it means an invitation in this deck. And the painting that I made is an invitation to return back to that soft space in the heart where you have been hurt the most, and to just protect the heart. So when you was talking about the spirit guide that's coming to you in the dreams, and Karen saw the rose, I immediately went to that interpretation, because in my mind that translates to, she must have been protecting your heart from any grief that you feel, or to give you the courage to believe in yourself into that soft spot again. So that's kind of
exactly it.
Okay,
that's exactly it to the T, where she steps into my life.
That's why I feel she used the rose, because that message is so strong inside of me. It's in the deck, but it's also what I painted the message to mean. And I feel that's how spirit guides or angels use symbolism from the other side, is they give the image that translates the message for you. And that's the message. So you're confirming that right now. That was your message.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to go to commercial break. When we come back, we will open the phone lines, and you guys would be fine pulling just one card per caller that calls in, and maybe that way so people can get a little idea about the deck too, and what more of the cards in there. Because, like I said, I definitely have some oracle card ladies in my audience tonight that love to collect these things. So I'm sure you're gonna have somebody buying this deck after the show. But we got to go to commercial break. We will come back after the short commercial break. Don't call in yet. Wait till we come back from the commercial break. I'm trying to find my bumper music. There it is. When we come back, I'll get the phone lines out, and you can call in. One card reading only for you guys. We don't, Karen has a long waiting list, but the whole point of this oracle deck, if you get it, is you can read for yourself. You can, pull a card a day and get yourself in tune more and be able to communicate. I've done tarot for a long time. I would like to get my hands on this deck. I collect them. I'd like to have this deck maybe it'd be the deck that I'll finally in tune with, because I have that unnamed ladies deck sitting right over here, and I could not get in tune with it. Maybe it was because of her conversion to Christianity. I don't know. But I think decks carry energy. I can feel them all different. I have an angel tarot deck. It has its own energy. I use it for certain kind of readings when I used to do it. These all carry energy, and these two women have put a lot of heart and love into this deck. So we're going to talk more about that when we come back from the short commercial break.
Conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope. That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Paranation Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift, a refreshing and fun read. I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Edgar Allan Poe wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. Yes, I thought it over quite thoroughly. It is, it's 42. It would have been simpler, of course, to have known what the actual question was.
But it was the question. The ultimate question. Of everything.
That's not a question. Only when you know the question will you know what the answer means.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419, or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guests are medium Karen Noe and artist Marie Antoinette Kelley. They are the creators of the Angel Oracle deck. And we're going to be taking calls now tonight. You can call in and ask questions. Tell of your experiences. I would love to hear if you had a loved one come through, or you're like I said, I had my one experience where I really felt I got information from the other side, from a spirit I didn't even know. I'd love to hear those stories. But the other thing I know a lot of you are probably going to want to call in tonight, and I got to get the phone lines open, is you can call in for a one-card reading. And I say one card, they'll pull one card for you. And that way we can kind of get a little more look at what this deck is like. Because I love tarot decks, oracle decks, even though I don't use oracle decks reading, and I barely do tarot readings anymore. I just love them. They're all pieces of art to me, and I love having the actual first time I've ever had the artist on here with the medium. I've had Debbie Anderson on here with her oracle deck, but we couldn't get the artist on here. It's great to see the collaboration of what goes into making something like this, because these things carry energy. It's very important. That's why, like I said, there's a certain person I won't name. They had a deck, several oracle decks that I don't know many mediums want to use anymore because the energy shifted and changed. They carry their own creator's energy with it, and yours combined can make for very powerful messages to come through. So I'm a big believer in this. I want to hear your guys' calls in tonight. Let's see what they have to say. One card readings, but let's go ahead and get back to our guest. All right, we are back on air, and let me get the banner rolling here with the phone lines. There we go. 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419. Skype IDs OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. Those are the ways to call in. If I hang up on you, it's not on purpose. It's just because I got somebody else on the line. I don't have a fancy phone system, so I can only take so many calls at a time. But the phone lines are open. Now, when doing just a one-card reading for like when somebody calls in, what's the kind of messaging usually that's going to come through a one-card reading?
It's what the person needs to know at that particular time. They may have a question about, should I take the new job? Should I find another partner? If they have a specific question, they can ask that. But the best type of reading is just say, what do I need to know today? And you shuffle the deck, and whatever the angels comes through, that's what it is. I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, not to be selfish, but we could start out by you pulling a card for me.
Absolutely. So you know how
I'm the host, man.
Do you want to do this? I pull the card and you want to expand on it? We could both expand on it a little bit.
Oh, I think you started first to capture the energy, and then if I feel that something hasn't been covered, then I will say what I feel that might be, if there is something.
All right. So, Jason, say your name one more time. I know.
Jason Bland. Bland. Jason.
Whoa.
Bland.
I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
No, it wouldn't fly out? I wasn't watching.
So it actually is the Unity card.
Oh, I love the yin yang.
What it says is Archangel Raguel wants you to understand that you are one with the universe. But I think you know that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take my take on that is that it wants you to expand that and to share it with more people. What you do with what you're doing right now, but let me say something. What does this mean to you? Sometimes you just have to ask the person about you.
I will admit I've maybe not feeling very unified lately. I don't know. Like, as you can know something. Like in my mind, we've talked about this when you were on the show 3 years ago, that, I believe we're all one, that we're all one big entity's multiple personality dream, Right. I feel we're all connected one. Knowing it doesn't mean you live it sometimes. And right. I've said I've been struggling a little bit, feeling disconnected from people in the world and want to isolate. So it took me a week to call two people I should have been calling. Right. I get that way where I want to just detach from the world, and it makes it hard to do this show sometimes. Just so you guys know, that's how I get. That's right. Just my personality.
It says I'm looking at the book. And very briefly, it says the angels would like you for you to comprehend that whatever you do to yourself or another really does affect the whole. So that's what stood out in my mind. So if you're improving something within yourself, you're improving the whole world. If you're the opposite, if you're not doing something too nice for yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself, that's affecting everyone around you as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sometimes I need that alone time, though. That's why. I don't know. I got a lot of it this last week being in quarantine from COVID.
Oh,
So
geez, I know.
maybe too much self-reflection's my problem of last week. I don't know. We do got somebody on the line. We'll get to him here.
Wait a minute, you said you had COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. That was all right, though. A lot of people I know ended up way worse than I did. I got the mild case, thankfully. I only really had one night of like sweats and feeling like completely drained. That's the worst part, just wanting to sleep all the time. I think that's the worst symptom. I just want to sleep. That's all. I took like a 2-hour nap today before this show, and it still felt like I could have slept the rest of the night. That's the only main symptom is just a lack of energy. I definitely have that.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
480 air code. Who do we got?
Hey, Jason, it's Zach. How you feeling, brother?
Well, like you kind of heard it if you heard me on there. Is this lack of I can't even drink coffee right now. That's the worst. I tried drinking. You always see me drink the big cup of coffee. I had to sit it down and I grabbed a Coke, which is like a sin on radio. You never want to drink pop, especially Coca-Cola, because I already made a nasty sound on the air. But it's like I need some other form of caffeine. Coffee's not doing it because man, that's the worst part about COVID is just draining your energy. I see somebody else trying to call in. I'm going to hang up on them. I'll get your call in a second. All right, Zach, what's your question tonight?
I would just like a reading, if possible.
Okay, do you have a specific question? Or whatever they want to let you know?
Well, I posted up on the Facebook. A lot of people know this, but last week I did have a business partner that passed away.
I'm so sorry, Zach.
Unfortunately, it was the second one that I lost within 6 months. I just want to know if she is okay on the other side.
Absolutely. Okay.
And how would I be able? And what's the best way that I can be able to get through the grieving process? Just because, to keep it short, the one business partner who was her ex-husband, the one who wronged all three of us, the two of which who passed away recently, he left me a voicemail, and it brought up so many memories that I didn't like to even remember on this.
Okay, so I'm really sorry you're going through this, but this is so pertinent to what you're asking. I don't know if you could see the screen. It says life review. Now, what happens is your deceased loved one is going through a life review. After we leave the physical body, we're able to see and feel how we've affected each person in our lives and what each person on here on the planet, what you're going through as well. She could see through your eyes why you do certain things as well. So it says Archangel Jeremiah wants you to understand how your actions are affecting yourself and others. I take it to mean she sees what you're going through, and what do you take it to mean? This is the way I like people to interpret these cards themselves.
That makes sense.
What does this card mean to you? She's going through a life review right now and seeing the bigger perspective. What is she trying to tell you?
To be perfectly honest, I don't even know. I don't even know if there's a straight answer that I can be able to give, because there's so much that really that I've had to process the past couple days.
So you're going through a negative. Her husband, if you could say it one more time, just so I can understand, is very negative and leaving messages.
Well, my other business partner, who was her ex-husband, he wronged all three of us. Not just whenever he helped us run the business that we were in, but it was also on a personal level also.
Okay, so I imagine that you're pulling that card because the life review is very much encouraging you to see their experiences through the eyes of the other person, so that you can get to that place of rising above the tit for tat, the right and wrong, and just look at it from a place of why they did what they did, so that you can make a little bit of room for love again if they wronged you, for example. Like, you don't just see it as the wrong they did you, but you see through their eyes the behind the scenes of why that wrong came to be. So perhaps your friend who is now on the other side, who just had her own life review, is encouraging you to get to that place where she and you can now see that this person that wronged you has reasons to be in a place of brokenness, to misunderstanding, because he never looked at things through the eyes of other people. He was just acting from his pain. And for the first person to get out of that whole cycle of hurting each other and wronging each other is the person who can see beyond that pain and try and understand through the eyes of the other.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering if that is what your friend is trying to communicate to you as wisdom from the other side.
And it says in the guidebook, if you need to forgive someone, try to see through their eyes, exactly what Marie Antoinette just said. Try to see why they behaved in a certain way. This will help you to understand the situation in a better way. So your loved one who passed is able to see the bigger perspective now. You may not understand why he did what he did, but if you could see through his, you may not agree. Let me say that again. You may not agree with what he did, but if you could see through his eyes why, maybe that will help things a little bit and to make peace with the situation.
It's like when you get a bad guy's backstory in a movie or in a book. It doesn't mean what they did was right.
Jason, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But it doesn't mean what they did was right, but it gives you an understanding of where they came from and why they did what they did.
Yeah, it's just going to take it's going to take me a while before I finally get to that point.
I said for the angels to just be a little bit more specific, and look what came up. The forgiveness card, which is Archangel Phanuel is urging you to let go of past grievances. I think she's urging you to create peace in your life, to let it go. Because did you ever hear the saying, it's not the snake bite that kills us, it's the venom that's left behind. So do it for you. Don't do it for the other person. Do it for you.
I will definitely keep that in mind. Thank you very much for the reading. I do greatly appreciate it, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, everybody. Have a good night and have a happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, somebody else trying to call in. I know who it was. See if I can call them back.
It's definitely what's coming to my mind is that as since I'm the artist of this deck, but also, you've heard the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. And
right.
I feel these images are definitely saying more than the words are also saying. So add the two and really, like Karen says, take it into yourself. What comes to my mind is right now I've just been working on a children's book, and that children's book is on the near-death experience. And for children to understand death and dying is not like this black hole that gobbles them up. And that also talks about the life review. And this card was the life review. And what shows up for me when I see that is that the life review shows you that an action doesn't stand alone by itself. Like if this guy was bad to the three of Zach's business, or him and his two business partners, that wasn't an isolated moment for that guy, because a life review shows you that starts somewhere, even as early as childhood, where you were first hurt and wronged. And so to get the big picture of a life review means that you see beyond the incident that wronged you to all the steps that made this person act so awful. And that maybe allows a little bit of forgiveness in there to soften it up.
It makes a lot of sense. That's what I thought when I was sitting here and think about it. I'm not the medium, but when I was listening to you guys talk and that, I was like, well, she's going through this live review. She's seeing a bigger picture.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, everybody's got a story. Yeah. I got people trying to call in. I got somebody waiting on hold here. If like I said, it hangs up on you, just wait till this phone call ends and then try again. Hopefully you get through. We got my friend Dan on the line. How you doing tonight, Dan?
Good. How are you, Jason?
Doing good, man. Good to hear from you.
Karen, Maria, how are you?
Good. Thank you.
Maria, I got to say, Dan is an incredible artist himself. He makes some amazing pictures, especially of some alien stuff that he's had some weird experiences. So I'm glad you called in, Dan.
Yeah. But Maria, I do a lot of I've always been into art. I've done graphic arts in the past, and I had an experience recently where I was in a workplace shooting, and I believed at the time what had been might have been an angel that kind of saved me that day from making a wrong move. And it seems like after they had touched me that day, things started to take a turn because I had given up art for about 6 or 7 years,
Oh, wow.
and then you would just get these urges to do it. And it's kind of like you were talking about. It's almost like you're in a Zen and it's an exchange of information almost. It's weird sometimes. But I only work with mouse. I don't feel comfortable using anything but mouse.
You're
And I've
digital
kind
artist.
of
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just
I
another
kind of
big
got
one.
out of the graphic design and I've gotten into more digital painting stuff. Kind of transitioned into that. But
Find a medium that works for you. I mean, in that sense, while Karen is the official medium, we're all mediums. you find what works for you.
But it's always a unique, different experience, it seems like. And some things just appear there, It's.
Now, did you want him to pull a card for you, Dan?
Yes.
Marie Antoinette, I think that one's for you. You pull the card, fellow artist.
Okay. So Dan, right? Is your do you have a question or an intention, or do you want me to just pull a card when you say go?
I would just like for you to pull a card probably now.
Here it is. It says dreams. You see it? Can you see the visual?
Oh, it's a pretty card too.
No, I'm. Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay, do you see it's a little boy looking at, and there's a candle on his crown that it's kind of like the light that turns on for him. The card says dreams. The angels are guiding you as you sleep. So the card specifically is written about what happens when you sleep. But of course, you can also take it as the dreams that you want to live while you're awake. And you said recently that an angel touched you and told you to pick up your art again and go back to creating. So perhaps it's connected to that. What do you think?
It's very possible. Yeah, it has multiple meanings, but
Just what I know about you, Dan, I would say, you've been looking really deeply into memories and dreams that you've had.
Yeah, I've had, since the shooting, it has brought out other regressed things that from my past that, and it's weird how it works, PTSD.
Do you want me to read to you what the guidebook has written about that card, or are you good
sure,
with what you can take from it? Okay, it says right here, the angels are guiding you as you sleep. You have picked this card because the angels are coming in dreams to point you in the direction of whatever you need to know. As in all dreams, make sure to pay attention to symbolic messages, recurring themes, and those that depict future events. Keep a dream journal next to your bed so you can record the information you are receiving. We talked about that earlier, that it's important to ask to be woken up when you have a dream that has information for you. So that's what this is referring to. If you have a question you'd like answered, either write it down or place it on the nightstand next to your bed, or simply ask it aloud in your mind's eye before you go to sleep. Tell the angels to come to you during the night with an answer and wake you up afterwards so you'll remember the dream. It's important to be patient and wait, and the dream will come either on that same night or on a subsequent one. You will know the difference between an ordinary dream and one from the celestial realm. A dream from the angels will mostly be loving, positive, and encouraging, and will be more memorable than other dreams. If the angels would like to caution you about something, they will gently persuade you to stay away from a particular person or activity. Upon awakening, make sure to act upon your guidance. Ask the angels to direct you to the meaning of the dream if you're unsure of what it's trying to tell you. Then make sure to act upon their guidance. So this is very much what our show has been about. We talked about that a lot, but I suppose at that level, then, having gathered the information, you take it to yourself and say, how specifically is dreams important to me, or what have I been doing with? But I think the biggest thing you can do is then to take that message and let it wake up inside of you over the next, hours or even days, because there's something there about dreams that is being communicated to you that you can benefit from.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Yeah, but whatever. I mean, whatever it is, it's kind of reached out in weird ways to me. But
Well, if I use my intuition as you are telling your story and as we're coming together on this card, I would also explore any meaning about harnessing your dreams again, the dreams of creating more artwork after your 7-year
Yes.
break, and to step back into that. I feel that's very strongly part of the message, even though the book doesn't say that specifically.
And can I add something too? That was excellent, Marie Antoinette. I pulled 2 cards for you, Dan. They both flew out of the deck. There was comfort and confidence. I don't know if you could see them. I'm trying to get them in the middle of, but the comfort card, you're going through post-traumatic stress from that whole thing, I am sure, right? So you just said,
yeah.
Archangel Zadkiel is presenting you with opportunities to boost your, this is the confidence. I'm sorry. Confidence first is for your artwork. I am sorry. Archangel Zadkiel is presenting you with opportunities to boost your self-esteem about your artwork. That's one of the cards. And the second one was the comfort card, which I got the first one, is the angels are comforting you during your time of need. You've been through a very difficult time, and they're trying to tell you that you're not alone. They're with you, guiding and protecting you. And you have everything to gain and nothing to lose by calling upon the angels and thanking them, and ask them to give you a sign, ask them to come to you in dreams to let you know they're with you. Then be patient and wait, and the dream or the sign will come when you least expect it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, because Karen, I used to not, I don't know, like to display my confidence, but was low. But after that event, I'm not afraid to show my art to anybody, and I don't care what they think about it.
Yeah,
I can take it for what it is.
It's amazing artwork. I mean, he's making actually graphics for the show.
Boost your self-esteem. So that's really cool. It confirms what you just
And
said. Yeah.
I can tell you some people that were there with me today said they had a turn like that where there was something that they're no longer, holding back on. It's weird.
But
yeah, I know you want to talk more about that at some point, Dan, too. But
yeah.
I hope you dream a little bigger, and I think any other way. Also, I'm sensing, I haven't seen your artwork yet, but by the description of Jason and your artwork seems to represent also a bit of a dream world. Is that right? Like images that you may encounter in a dream. I don't know if that's right for you, but it seems that there's multiple meanings for you in the dreams.
Yes.
But I think all of them are pointing to you expressing yourself with a little bit more confidence in your art.
Yeah.
So hopefully you do that. I look forward to seeing some of it.
Yeah, I'll keep painting. I mean.
Well, Dan, thank you for calling in, bud.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Karen and Marie.
You're welcome.
Right. Have a great night.
See ya.
I know I got other people trying to call in here. Like I said, I only got a couple ways to call in. I'm looking to see. There's a couple phone calls. Here's one. All right. I think we got somebody else online. Just called in. Who do we got?
Hi, my name's Marie Cargelina, I'm from Oregon.
Hi. Thank you for calling in. You said Marie?
Yes.
Great name. You're on with Marie Antoinette Kelley and Karen Noe.
Yeah.
I saw that. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Now, did you want them to pull a card for you tonight?
Yeah, I just want to, whatever comes out, and let's hear what they have to say. Just on my own, my personal deck is a Crow Tarot. I can't remember the artist. She does both the interpretation and the art, and I love the way it reads. And I think this is the same deck, the Angel Quest Oracle, that my daughter gifted to a friend of hers. We were at a metaphysical store, and she saw it and just knew it was right for her friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so you would like a reading, one card reading? You want me to do this one, or Marie Antoinette will go back and forth?
Oh, that's
I think
totally fine.
You go for it, Karen.
I'll go for it. The next time you go, and then
No, just go for it all the way.
I feel okay. I got the surrendering to spirit card. Hold your situation over to the divine and let go of the attachment to the outcome. Are you asking for something that you really want to manifest in your life?
Yes.
Okay.
I need financing for a new roof. That's my big thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I need financing for a new roof. That's
Okay,
my
so-
biggest stressor.
Okay, so what the angels are saying, just surrender to spirit and not try too hard and don't beg God and the angels, because when you do so, it means that you don't believe it's going to happen. So just surrender and say thank you beforehand. That's the way the law of attraction, we're energetic beings. We are magnets, whatever we're thinking and feeling, we're creating in our life. Yeah. So if we believe that we cannot afford the roof or whatever it is, we won't be able to. So when the card says surrender to spirit, just know that it's happening. Know that the money is here. Let's do it now. How would it feel if you had the money now, all the money you needed to pay for your roof?
Extraordinarily less stressed within my life. Yes.
Can you feel that now? I would like, because what happened, it's a given. As I said, we're vibrational beings, whatever we're thinking and feeling, we're creating. And it is a fact. It's just, you don't have to believe in the law of attraction for it to work. Just as you don't have to believe in gravity to know that you're not floating around, right? So with that said,
Right.
we're going to do the reverse, surrender to spirit, and just feel it and thank the universe, thank the angels for granting you the means to pay for everything you need to pay for. How does that feel? If you could feel that feeling, assume that feeling
Amazing.
of your wish fulfilled, it's a done deal. It's not
Yeah.
airy-fairy. It's not wishful thinking. It's a done deal. You will see what I mean, but
Right.
you plant the seed and then don't pull it out by its roots saying, okay, it didn't work. You have to just anticipate it. It's going to come in unexpected ways, in wonderful ways, since it's an angel card. It's not going to happen in a bad way. Surrender to spirit. They'll give, maybe, I don't know, you'll win the lottery, a friend will give you the money or whatever. So just trust.
Right.
Just trust.
I will definitely meditate on that tonight. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Marie Antoinette, do you want to add
Thank you.
anything?
No, I thought that was lovely. It made me all happy seeing you and your new roof.
There you go.
Right? I do see it. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm painting
All
it
right,
in my
ladies.
mind right
Thank
now.
you so much for giving me. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks,
You're
Jason.
welcome.
Thanks, Marie.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See if I can grab this other person that's been trying to call in. Maybe I can call them back because they've been trying. All right, I called you back because you kept trying to call in and kept getting hung up on. Who do we got?
Hello.
Hello, you're on Paranormal Soup.
Oh, it's Aziriana, Jason.
I thought it
How
was.
is everybody tonight?
Hey, Aziriana.
I love the deck. I really might get it.
Like I said, I know there's several of you in the chat room that are collectors of Oracle decks.
yeah, Tarot and Oracle. Yeah, for the artistic pictures, right? If I can have a flying or jumping card,
You want a card that jumps out?
I love those.
If it jumps out?
That's Karen. She's good with flying cards.
Those are the best. Those are the best. Yeah. And you say, just give me, what I need to know. My favorite was when I was teaching a class on how to raise their vibration to be more on par with the angels and how to receive messages through the use of Angel Oracle deck. So I'm shuffling the cards. I said, okay, this is for you, for the class. What does this class need to know? And I'm shuffling the deck, and the raise your vibration card, I can't find it here, but it just came flying out of the deck. So I love that. I love when they do that.
Yeah.
Do you have Aziriana, do you have a particular question for the cards tonight, or you just want whatever card
Just
flies out?
generalize whatever I may need to hear.
So you pull a Karen if I feel anything.
Me? Your turn.
But,
You want me
no,
to?
yeah, because you are experiencing it.
All right. Okay, what's your first name?
Well, it's Aziriana.
Okay.
Doriana?
Aziriana.
Ariana.
Ziriana.
Okay. What does Ariana need to know? Angels, be very specific. I want a flying
There you
out
go.
card, which I did. Which I did. The flying out card. You got a good one. Divine intervention. Okay, and that is spirit is carrying through your difficult times. Trust in the higher power. That's a good one. That's one of my favorites in the whole deck. So just know you're not alone. The angels and source is guiding you, protecting you, helping you through the difficult times.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.
Well, Zirian, do you have any other questions on that, or did that kind of
No,
what
no, you're that's
going on
very
right now?
cool. That's very cool. Like I said, I love flying cards.
That one
and
definitely
jumping
did.
Cards.
You asked for it.
Yeah.
I heard
You
it
know?
pop out.
Yeah. I always ask for help from angels and all my sources and guides and whatever when I really need it. So it very, very good. Very good. Very pleased.
Well, thank you,
Very
Ziriana,
pleased.
for calling in.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Isn't it great to know
Thank
we're
you
not
very-
alone? I mean, you just have everything to gain and nothing to lose by calling upon the angels. You could do it through the use of an angel oracle deck, or you could talk to them directly and say, what do I need to know? Guide me. And then this intuition feeling will tell you what to do, and just trust.
Definitely. Excellent.
All right, Ziriana.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and I'll be purchasing your deck.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, just so you know, if you call in and it hangs up on you, be prepared. I'll call you back. That's what I had to do with Ziriana and Dan that had called in, because I only have really the one phone line. The other one doesn't seem to want. I don't know. It might be one line not even picking up tonight. I don't know, because I'm not getting any calls on this other phone. I saw somebody else was trying to call in, but I can't figure out which number that was. I'm not for sure. I lose track. So phone lines are open. Keep calling in. We'll be going to commercial break here in a little bit. Nope, that's a text message. 3 jar. Oh, and Dan had a comment. He's like, I got 3 cards.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if it happens, it happens. But we guarantee just one card, guarantee for sure. But I mean, if they feel like pulling extra cards for you, then it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's on them.
Yeah, we just go with the flow.
Jamie or Rob, do you guys want a card pulled for you tonight?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Marie Antoinette, come on. You do it. I know you
Yeah,
can
all right.
do
This
it.
one's on you, Marie.
It's okay to say no.
I
Just kidding. No, I'll pull one, obviously.
Do you want to go first, Jamie?
Trust. I'll pick a card
Let's go,
for you,
yeah.
Marie Antoinette. Trust.
You pick the card for me that says trust. No, I trust the cards. I was just making a lame joke. My sense of humor is late night.
It's all right. I make plenty more lame jokes than
Yeah.
you will tonight.
Okay, Jamie, this one's for you. Say ready and I'll pick it.
Okay. Now,
Okay. Oh, you have the forgiveness card as well. There it is. Forgiveness. Do you feel that has a place in your life right now?
I do.
It says specifically, Archangel Phanuel is urging you to let go of past grievances.
That makes a lot of sense right now.
That's awesome. If you want to, I can read more of the book, or you can just take it to your heart and see what it says to you. That dove coming in to bring the olive branch, and from the olive branch, just extend to forgiveness.
I'm understanding it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Wonderful.
And beautiful
All right.
art. That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
All right. Rob, you want to go next?
Sure.
Do you have a specific question, or do you want them to pull a card for you?
Yeah, just pull a card and see what it says for me.
Are you pulling now, Karen?
Oh, okay. It's Rob?
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes she's...
What does Rob need to know? Whoa.
Well, that's
Whoa.
one.
But it's
That sounds like a Rob card.
before, but it came flying out, going within. And it's the angels are asking you to calm your mind and feel the power of spirit within you.
That was like a slap in the face.
Yeah, that one popped right on out.
It's like, pay attention. Go within yourself. You don't need any answers outside of yourself. Go within. You have all the answers you need there. And you know that. I think you already know that. It's just confirmation of what you already know.
Cool.
Yeah, what we've been talking about that tonight too, but what I noticed when I pull the cards a lot from this deck is in the end, it all just brings you back to yourself, like the card you just got, because really that's where you get all that information with spirit and where it's unlimited. So at that point, you start to realize that you can live these cards just by constantly returning to that flow, just letting spirit flow. Don't overanalyze it, and yeah, it starts by going within, but it's really just about flowing with it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got several oracle decks. Well, I'm probably 35 or so, but
Wow.
yeah,
Not really. 35 oracle decks. Wow, that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a collector.
Yep.
And so you know what? You could even play like cards with the oracle deck. Which one of these oracle decks do I need to touch tonight?
That's usually how I pick them.
Yeah,
Right?
sure. Yeah.
And then within that, you get a card. Well, I hope ours is now part of it.
Yeah, yeah. When I was gonna say when we do use them on the show, or when I pick a deck to purchase or whatever, the meanings of the cards are one thing, and I also go with the artwork as well. Because it sometimes you get like you're doing tonight. I mean, you get a reading from the artwork and also the meaning of the card with the book.
And you'll see in this deck too that while it's an Angel Quest Oracle deck, the cards aren't all angels. There's about half of them that have angels, and even the angels themselves. Because I remember struggling with that in the beginning as I had to start depicting angels, because it's so personal how people relate to angels. For some people, they're very medieval. For some people, they're just beings of light without faces, and so I was like, well, how can I be the one to decide what this angel looks like? And that for me, that answer came in realizing that what I talked about earlier, that it's mostly the angle or the qualities that the angel represents, and that if I can find an image that is even a very human angel or an angel among us who really represents that quality, then it doesn't matter so much how I paint them. It just matters that I represent their vibration, and that quality comes through, and then you can translate that for yourself again and turn that into the angel that you personally know, because it's the feeling that I think spirit communicates that's more important than the hard and fast facts of what this angel looks like.
Yeah.
And that's how we approach this deck. So half of the cards in the deck don't even have an angel. They have, archetypal images, as I like to call them, like the one that says courage. It's a flower. I'm trying to find it right here. It's a flower that's growing through the rubble. And so clearly you don't see an angel in this, but the angels are working behind that to give you the courage. And the quality is like a flower breaking through rubble to blossom anyway. And sometimes that takes great courage to break through your own hard times, or the crusts on your heart, or whatever is difficult in your life. And so the angel therefore can communicate that message, but the image is not actually showing an angel. And that's our deck.
Yeah, as I say, I've noticed so far the images I see, you guys aren't showing the angels with wings hardly. I mean, the cover's got like kind of the wing thing going on, but generally they're images of people or items or objects that have the message or power. But I mean,
right.
Artwork of angels, Renaissance period and on. I mean, we get the winged classic angels that people see, but you go to the Bible and people's personal experiences, angels come in a lot of different forms, a lot of different ways, that they appear. Or hold on.
Yeah, you'll notice we did every single nationality, and because in reality, they're spirit, they don't have a nationality anyway. But we wanted to bring forth,
be inclusive and diverse so that everybody can relate to it.
Correct.
And I remember being interviewed by a person who was African American, and he was actually in tears seeing angels represented in his skin color. He says, you have no idea how hard it is to come by, because people just haven't represented that in art. And I was so moved by that, because it's true. I had no idea, but it makes complete sense, because I mean, God is all in all. Why would you even have to think about that twice, So
but for me, my personal experience of a guardian angel is a black woman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
It doesn't matter what color of skin anybody is, especially on the other side. God, you got to think how much the bigger picture in the spirit realm shakes their head at humanity all the time for our silliness.
I know the way we compartmentalize everything.
I know, exactly. One of the things, the messages I'm hearing tonight too, I mean, I would see, is to trust the messages, to trust your
Yes.
intuition. You know, a lot to do here tonight with people that are calling in, and with us is to trust trust the spirits to, for Azariana, was it? No, it wasn't Azariana.
Mhm.
No, Marie. It was Marie, I think. I forget which caller had the roof.
With the roof?
Yes,
that
yeah,
was
like
Maria.
you have to let go sometimes of your problems, your issues. And
Totally.
I'm a worry ward. I know how it is to worry about things financially. I've learned if you can't control it, can you fix it now? Then let it go.
Yeah.
It'll find its way one or the other. But you sitting there worrying about it or stressing about it, it's not changing the
That's
facts
a
of
little bit
anything.
of the paradox actually of the card deck,
Isn't
I
it?
think, as I reflect on it. Because when you're stuck in your situation, then you're obviously not flowing and you're stuck in this what is right, what is wrong, where do I go next? And so when you then pull a card, you tend to interpret it from that place of right or wrong. Like, was it right for me? Is it wrong for me? But actually I think the right way, the most effective way, not right, the most effective way to interpret these cards is to say, how does this fit into my life? How is this relevant to me, rather than is this right, is it wrong? Because then you open up to that new angle of your consciousness and you start to understand where that message fits and what is it really trying to tell you. So it's a bit paradoxical. If you're stuck, then you're already thinking the right way out, the wrong way. What is wrong about this? But really the answer is in the how.
Yeah, and that's a hard one to let go of because a lot of us want to imagine
Mhm.
how we're going to get ourselves out of a situation. I know I'm a worry. Where I got more people calling in. We got 856 area code. I just called back. Somebody else just called in. I hung up on because I got this call. Just wait, we'll get to you soon. 856 area code. Who do we got? Somebody, you're on the line. You're on the air. Who do we got? Hello, 856 area code. Thought
They're
this might be.
calling from the other side, I think.
Yeah, no, that could happen. I thought this might be D that was calling in. I'm not sure because I thought it came from that. Can you hear us? Are you there? Sometimes she has problems. Huh?
She posted
Was
it.
me call?
Yeah.
There was somebody else calling at the same time, so I might have not gotten D. I might have. Yeah. Let's see. I thought this was D. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. If you're on the line, speak up.
She said,
While we're waiting, I just wanted to tell everybody, we like to pull cards for you, me and Marie Antoinette, but the best part is that you all can do this yourself. And that's the whole purpose. You get home, you get the deck, you put your energy on each and every card. You don't let anybody else touch your deck. It's a little bit different than tarot cards. The other person touches your cards, but don't let anybody touch this deck. And, your energy's on it. And you ask the angels, you get a message directly for you. And you just trust what you receive.
Two people calling in.
Very simple.
Trying to figure out. Let me try calling this one back. I think this was D. Let me look at this thing here really quick. Yeah, this was definitely D. I'm calling her back. You hear it ringing, right? There we go. Calling you, D.
Hello, Jason.
Hey, I'm glad I called you back. I don't know why we didn't have audio earlier.
Your line was just saying it's down and it's putting me through the answer machine.
Huh, that's so weird. It showed you like you were on air. It does that. It had
Hello?
Do you hear me now, D? You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Can you hear me,
I can hear you, D.
Jason?
I hear you, D.
Can you?
You hear
Yes,
me? Okay,
I
we
can
hear you.
you too.
Okay, we hear you.
You can. Oh, can the ladies hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
We can. Yep.
Karen's ready to pull a card
Okay.
for you.
Oh, do you have a question, or would you just like a general card reading? Or do you have a specific?
That'll be awesome. If I had a lot of questions, you'd be here for about 5 days.
Okay. Do you have one in
So-
general? One that sums it up?
Yes.
or-
Yes, please.
Oh,
She
so
just
you
wants
want
you to
me to
pull a
just
card,
give you the
yeah.
card, and your name is D?
Yes.
D. Okay. What does D need to know? I'm going to ask the angels. What does D need to know? Healing. Archangel Raphael is assisting you in healing your mind, body, and spirit. So are you in the need for healing in any area of your life right now?
Yes.
Okay.
A
So
lot.
okay, so what's going on? And then I'll tell you exactly what this means. You're not
My-
alone. You're being helped. Yes.
My throat issue. My speech therapist that I went to, Joanna Smith, they're changing her to someone else. I hate changes.
Okay.
And now I have to see another new specialist in June 21st. And then I just have to see another specialist for my arm and my neck because with me falling on Holy Saturday into the curb when I was walking home from the store.
Oh boy.
So kind of messed everything up there.
Well, you know
So,
something, this is an excellent card for you. The angel is saying they're healing. They're healing you. Archangel Raphael is assisting you in healing the mind, body, and spirit. So just trust all the perfect people are coming into your life. Medical. I hope you're doing alternative. You're doing both Eastern and Western medicine. Yes. I hope.
No, I don't live in the western side. I live in New Jersey.
I live in New Jersey too. Yes. Where in New Jersey are you? I'll explain what I meant in a minute.
I live in Belmar. You know, right near Philly, where you go get the Ben Franklin Bridge and Walt Whitman
Belmar,
Bridge.
you're down the shore.
Oh no! That's the other Belmar. That's up north. I'm near Philadelphia, PA.
Okay. So what
I'm in Camden County.
When
Yeah.
I say Eastern and Western medicine, I'm talking about alternative ways as well as all the traditional ways of receiving, healing. So maybe acupuncture or Reiki or something like that. It always enhances whatever else you're receiving as well. Have you tried any
Well,
alternative?
I go for physical therapy.
Okay.
And I only have like 6 days left till I go back in the fall. At least my doctor would have about a couple months without the headaches I give him. So,
But a lot of we're mind, body, spirit. We're not just the body. So when we're trying to heal just the physical body, sometimes it just doesn't work because you have to incorporate the energy of who you are, right? You are the
Right.
body. You need to take care of that. You are the mind. And if you're going through trauma, it's great to talk to a therapist, but you are also energy. So if you heal each one of those, and that's what the angels are trying to say, that's when true healing comes. So if you know someone, look into someone who does Reiki or learn how to do Reiki. Do you know what Reiki is? It's energy healing.
I'm an energy healer, but I can't heal myself. I can heal other people, but I can't heal myself.
Okay, so yes, you can. You can, but you believe you can, so it doesn't happen. But if you could find somebody that you trust that can help you to heal in that way too. I'm not saying don't go to the doctors. I'm saying continue to go to the doctors, but enhance that with alternative medicine as well. But this is a great card for you. It's exactly the angels are saying they're working with you to help you to heal.
Right.
I hope you get better, Dee.
Yes.
I hope so too. Every time I turn around, I get into some type of tragedy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I see your voice sounds better than the last time I heard you.
Yeah, I wasn't talking all day today, so.
Oh, okay. I say because you call in, I can tell your voices. You're just struggling to get through on the phone sometimes with us and talk, and I can hear the pain in your voice. Tonight, you sound better. I mean, your voice sounds better.
Yeah, I wasn't so much stressed today,
Oh, good.
but I'm glad you could hear it a bit different, but it goes up and down each day. I don't know when, but I still have the problems with eating and stuff.
Yeah.
And swallowing.
Well, we
But,
all pray. We all pray for you every Sunday. We hear you call in that things are going to get better for you. You're going to heal. When she pulled the healing card out, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely Dee's card. Because I mean,
Also, I want to say if it's the throat, it's your throat chakra. Do you know what the chakras are? We have energy centers within our body. Are you speaking your piece in life? Are you able to tell people what you need to say?
Somewhat, but when I talk, a lot of people don't understand me.
Oh.
And I have a hard time explaining things, how I'm feeling.
I see.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And then they think that some of the doctors just think I'm making it up, and I'm not.
Right. I'm sorry about that, but trust. This is a very good. I wish Can you take a picture of the card? Where did I do with it? Oh, here it is. I
She
don't
can
know.
go back and screenshot it.
Screenshot it or
maybe.
something. I could send it
Yeah.
to you. I could give you my email address, but this is perfect for you.
I knew it was
Okay.
perfect for you when I saw her pull the card.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering, Dee, I don't know if this is appropriate, but if there's a trauma in your past where somebody grabbed you by the throat and was really angry at you, because that's the images that are coming to me, and that you're still feeling under the trauma of that anger. Is that true, or am I just feeling that wrong?
Could be symbolic of
Yeah.
somebody getting her, you know.
There's an anger that
Can you
stops you from.
repeat that?
It
May
feels
you
to me.
please repeat that, please?
Well, it feels to me that there's some person in your life who has been really angry at you, who may or may not have physically grabbed you by the throat to stop you from expressing yourself. And that anger is still a trauma for you, and it stops you from being expressive on your own, in your own voice. Is that true? Is there somebody like that that has scared you or
I'm
traumatized
not
you?
too,
No.
I'm not too sure. Probably has, but I don't know.
You know, sometimes that's symbolic. When we receive pictures or messages from the angels, it could be symbolic. So what Marie Antoinette is getting when she sees the physical image of that, it could be maybe somebody in your life prevented you from saying what you needed to say. And now everything's being blocked in that area. That's a possibility.
Right.
And it would be earlier when you were impressionable and young is what I feel.
Yeah.
Like a father figure or a teacher or somebody male is what I'm seeing.
I'm just, because I'm not upset with Dr. Judge. I'm just upset the way I had the endoscopy and I came out with no voice and still have problems with my throat.
Oh,
Well, it's something I agree with the ladies here, Dee, too, to look into. I mean, yes, you had that incident that injured your throat, but there could be a more deeper spiritual meaning to it too, going on with you. Is what I think they're trying to tell you. Yeah, to look maybe a little more deeply at maybe a trauma you haven't looked at in your life that you wouldn't associate because you know the medical reason why you have this, why you had that incident happen, but it's continuing. So why? You know, it reminds me of Edgar Casey. You know, the whole reason he first was put under in hypnotic regression is because he couldn't speak.
Right.
He was having these throat issues, and it brought out a lot. You know, when they put him under, and he was able to heal himself. I love Edgar Casey, the whole Sleeping Prophet story. But that's what it reminds me of. So yeah, it might be something you really need to look into, Dee.
Yeah. My mom had books on Edgar Casey, but I don't know where they're at.
Well, not looking at Edgar Casey, but looking into yourself. You know, maybe a trauma experience. You know, but
It's
Dee, we got to go to
mind, body, spirit. It's always mind, body, spirit. It's never just the physical body, but yeah.
Dee, we got to go to commercial break. Thank you so much for calling in, and here to you, healing fast.
Thank you. And I will talk to you all later and wish you all happy birthday, Jamie, and happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Yeah, happy
and
Mother's Day.
sending hugs to everyone.
Thank you.
All right, Dee. Have a great night.
Thank you, Dee.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, when you pulled out the healing card for her, I'm like, yeah, that's if I were to pick a card, that would be it.
That
I don't
would
even
be
know
it.
what all the cards are in your deck, but
Yeah.
Dee needs healing, and she's a
Yes.
wonderful lady that calls in the show, emails me, and or sends me text messages and stuff of her life going on, and she struggles, and a lot of people do. So I, encourage people to check out this Angel Quest Oracle deck. It can help you with the daily readings. We will have a half an hour left. We're going to go to commercial break, where you can call in, get a 1-card reading, maybe 3 if you're lucky, like Dan. Dan, by the way, messaged me. He says it's weird that he got 3 cards because he has this thing with 1 and 3s, and I do remember him mentioning that to me before. He has a thing with 1 and 3, and he got 1 card, but then he got 3. So it kind of fits with him. We're going to go to commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll continue with Karen Noe and Marie Antoinette Kelley with their Angel Oracle deck after a short commercial break.
intercepted the transmission of unknown origin.
Transmission? Out here?
SOS.
Human.
Unknown.
Alien. Certificate X. Exclusive engagement at the Odeon Leicester Square. Now.
Any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated.
I will hear it.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDeath.net.
This is an APAC studio presentation.
Hi, I'm Barry, owner-operator of Barry's Barometer Barn. Lately, I bet you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, how many barometers do I really need? Well, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we think you need more than one. Otherwise, we're gonna go out of business. Remember, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we don't know the meaning of high-pressure sales. Come on, folks, buy another barometer. I'm trying to put my kids through college, I've got a family to support, and a secret mistress who isn't cheap.
Visit Barry's Barometer Barn, 000 Storm Drive. Come on, folks, buy a barometer. I'm Barry's older brother, Larry, and every time one of you people walk past the store without coming in, Barry beats me.
This has been a presentation from Tim Morgan's APAC Studio. For more almost professional amateur comic studio content, visit the APAC YouTube channel. Search APAC 2002. That's APAC 2002 on YouTube.
When Alex Gardner is asleep, he has an extraordinary gift. The government wants it, the scientists want it. But to keep it may cost him his life. It might be better if Alex didn't sleep at all. But he cannot resist entering the dreamscape. Can you? See Dreamscape in the West End and all over London now. Certificate 15. It takes an extraordinary adventurer to enter the dreamscape.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Heat 'em up.
Do.
Hooray! Be gone!
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419. Or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest is medium Karen Noe and graphic artist Marie Antoinette Kelley. We're talking about their new Angel Oracle deck. It's a 44-card deck. Like I said, I know plenty of you I have seen in the chat rooms mention your love for Oracle decks and collection of them. I mean, Rob has what? He said 35? Jeez, I have a few. You know, I have more tarot decks than I have Oracle decks, but they fascinate me, and I'd like to get my hands on this one for sure. But we will continue to take your phone calls. Let me make sure I get the phone lines open. You can have a one-card reading, maybe possibly three like Dan got, if the cards so will it. You can call in, ask a question, or just have them pull a general card. We've got about a half an hour left, but let's go ahead and get back to our guests. One thing I've been noticing in the thread here from people talking about with D and all that, you know, it makes me think of my situation I had before I started this show. I had a thyroid issue. I had discovered a lump on my thyroid. I was like, 33 or something like that. I can't remember now. 34. I just discovered a lump on my thyroid. And at that time in my life, I was feeling like I couldn't talk to people about the things that interest me, and I felt frustrated in life. And that's what, after I had the surgery, not long after, when I finally really recovered, and it took a little bit, I started thinking about doing this show. And the whole purpose of getting out there and to talk about the things I was trying to talk to normal people I worked with were like, you're weird. You know, like I needed an outlet. I needed the show, and I think it affected my thyroid.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Whatever goes on outside of yourself affects your physical as well. So I'm glad you're doing a show. And you're spreading the word.
It's funny, as I was talking about that to my mom, Happy Mother's Day, I was talking about that with my mom just today because she's having some issues. And you're talking about, she's like, oh, you probably wouldn't even have to have half your thyroid removed nowadays. They have different tests and stuff they can do. They don't just take it out like they did. But I always thought about that relationship with what I was going through at that time and what led me doing this show. And I had that thyroid issue, and they talk about the throat chakra, how important that is.
Yeah, wouldn't it have been nice to know that beforehand, before you had the surgery?
Yeah, I had no idea about that then. You know,
right.
Years later, retrospect.
Right.
I was like, it makes a lot of sense how much your throat chakra, and especially for so many people out there that don't feel like they have people to talk to or can't get out or express what they want to say. Nowadays, I think a lot of people don't have that problem because they just use social media for that and probably say too much. But there are still lots of people, don't get to say what they want to say, and speak out. And and I think it can affect you at a spiritual level.
Yeah, and that goes for any of your chakras, whether it be your heart chakra. I find a lot of times, people who come to see me have lost their loved ones. And their heart chakra is blocked, so they have heart problems or something to do with the heart. That's a broken heart. So we work on issues, how to clear the chakra, but how to prevent that from happening again. Because we could clear the chakra today, and then tomorrow you're still grieving. We have to work on the grief as well. And
it's like the chakra gets dirty with your, I guess, emotional baggage.
Yes.
We all got it.
It does. And rightfully so. If you're grieving, it affects you. So it's okay.
And I'm somebody who has had experience of seeing people's auras and be able to see like dirtiness and aura and stuff at times. I'm not good at reading people from auras like others, but I do see them at times. And I believe energy is all around us, coming out of us, that's affected by how we think and our emotions.
Absolutely.
And you can feel it. I mean, you can feel it off of people that are going through things at times. I swear you can feel they're either if somebody's going through something really good and everything's great, you can feel the positives. When somebody's going through something real negative, you can cut the room with a knife with it. When there's a lot
that
of,
means because you're clairsentient, you feel emotions, you feel the energy, whether or not you see it or not. Everybody receives messages in different ways, and it seems to be, if you could see it, it's clairvoyance and then clairsentience, and you're combining that. But yeah, most people, you just don't understand why, but somebody walks in the room and you were feeling better before, and now all of a sudden you
Yep.
don't. What just happened?
oh yeah, there's people I've had to get away from because of that.
Yes.
Like literally, and I can feel when somebody says, "I'm not angry with you." I'm like, "Oh yes, you are."
Yeah.
Oh yes, you are. I can feel it. Like you want to say it to people that don't know the weirdness of you, but it's like I can feel it. I know you're angry with me. Spit it out. And I've
What's
done that to
going on?
people.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. We got somebody else on the line. 519 area code. I had to call them back. For some reason, keeps hanging up on people. Who do we got? 519 area code. Who do we got? See, now it's doing it again, where it's like it doesn't want.
Angels are playing with
talk.
us.
I know.
Yeah.
My crappy phone line system. I might have to try calling them back again one more time. 519 area code. It might not be your right area code. I don't know. If you're on the line, say hello. No? All right. I could try calling them again. Hold on. Let me see if I can call them again. As I said, they just called me. All right, let's try this again. Oh, there we go. Now I hear you.
Hi.
Hi. Who do we got on the line?
Hi, it's Bill.
Oh, hey, Bill. Yeah, my phone
How are
lines are being
things?
weird tonight. Doing good.
It's a really crappy line, but
Yeah. Poor
I was
man's
going
phone
to
lines.
say a story. Maybe I'll just get the gals to draw me a card.
Oh, do you have a particular question, or you just want a general?
Just a general.
Okay. So your name is Bill?
Yes.
Okay, but what does Bill need to know today? Angels, what does Bill need to know? Did you see that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Did you? I hope I should do this higher, but I'm shuffling and this just went like this.
Yeah, I saw it.
Surrendering to spirit, hold your situation over to the divine and let go of your attachment to the outcome. So are you hoping for something to happen in a particular manner? Like you're saying, this is the way I want it to be? Because if so, they're saying surrender and let it happen the way it's supposed to. What do you take this card to mean? What does it mean to you?
Okay, I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
I had a dream. It wasn't actually a dream. In this dream, I was in an RV sitting beside a guy, and he pulled the RV over to the side of the road, and he showed me this picture. And it was a picture of a young guy leaning against a Jeep with a gun. And he told me he told me it was his son, and he died in Vietnam in 1967, and he needed help. Now, Charles Schultz is the guy that wrote the Peanut strip column. So I didn't really know what to think, but I Googled Charles Schultz, Vietnam War, and it pops up, Charles Joseph Schultz, and there's a picture of the guy and everything. So I've been trying to help him over to the other side, and maybe I've been trying too hard. I don't know. What do you think?
I think what they're trying to tell you is just surrender. You don't try too hard, just allow it to happen. And send, you know what I mean? Do whatever you're doing, but just don't be so intent on it happening the way you desire it to be. Like you're trying very hard for it to.
I actually feel something different when you say that. I felt when you said, I'm trying to get him to cross over to the other side. This could
Is
be
that
a
what he said? I
confirmation.
didn't realize that. I didn't hear what you said.
Did you not say that? You're trying to help
That I
this
was trying to get
Schultz Jr.
trying to help him over. Yes.
Oh,
Right.
gosh.
So I think you got a confirmation just now that you have surrendered him into spirit. I feel that is what
That's
just happened.
beautiful. Thank you for picking up on that, Marie Antoinette, because everybody, after you leave the physical body, you go to the other side. There's no, middle place. You go right there.
But you're probably worried that he was stuck in the PTSD or any trauma from the Vietnam War, right? And that's probably what you have been working to shift for him. And for me, this confirmation just popped out that your work is complete and you have surrendered him into spirit and that you can now surrender to spirit.
Right. That's
So
beautiful.
I feel your story confirms what the
There you
message said.
go.
So the job is complete?
Yes,
Complete.
that's what I picked up on.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I thought I would need all
congratulations.
kinds of help to
No,
do
thank
this.
you for the hard work. I feel that you just got that confirmation, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. I did once say to God that I would help the dead if I could.
Mm.
That's
Like I grew up
awesome.
in a haunted house, so I have lots of experience with that kind of stuff. But
Do you
that's
have
good.
any? Do you have any connections to Charles Schultz? You can
I'm
find, or-
Canadian. I'm not even
Yeah.
an American. So no, I have no connection to the Vietnam War at all.
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of strange that.
It's the way it
But it was
works, though.
definitely his father.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
But
Just punch in Charles Schultz,
Yeah.
Vietnam War, and it pumps. It'll come up. Charles Joseph Schultz.
Yeah.
There's a picture of the guy and everything. It's kind of really weird.
That's amazing.
weird.
But I think beyond that, I think that you just got a message from your angels that you not only surrender to spirit and relax about what you're doing, but that you are in fact surrendering people to spirit with that inner work,
There you
that dream work that
bingo.
you do.
Good job. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, thank you, Bill.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
You're
Have a great night.
All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
I think that's just the human condition, though. We want to kind of control things or expect an outcome, and that's now, especially in the spirit world, how things work.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's that letting go and, like it says, surrender. You know, to be able to do it.
And I don't know about you guys, but I often feel, having had interactions with people that are stuck, like what he said when he picked up in the dream, it's quite like static electricity on a balloon. That when you touch that person or that person's trauma, like the static electricity on the balloon, it evaporates and they are now free and released to go into spirit. So
It's weird, though. I mean, I've had this experience where I felt like a spirit came through to me that I had no connection to.
yeah,
You know, it's happened to me. And I know it's happened to others. It's weird how spirit will come through to people that are like, I don't know why. You know, I
Mhm.
mean, Karen, I'm sure you experienced that on a bigger level than that. You
Well,
know,
because they know you're open to it, and they know you're picking up on their energy, so that's why they're coming to you. They'll find any way to get through, but
right.
yeah.
All right, we got another call I want to get to before we run out of time. Who do we got on the line?
Hey, this is Angela.
Hey, Angela, thanks for calling in.
It's great to hear everybody. Thank you.
So,
Hi,
are we
Angela.
looking for a one card reading tonight?
Sure, that sounds terrific. Hey, Karen. Hey, Marie Antoinette.
Hi there,
Hi,
Angela.
Angela.
Marie Antoinette, this one's
No.
on you.
No,
Yeah,
you
I
did
knew she was going to
great.
do that.
Come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
you pull the cards.
you're
pull the
in a
cards.
row. All right.
Well,
Angela, we'll both do one. Marie
yeah,
Antoinette,
I'll
you
just
There is.
listen.
we'll do the
You
three
get two.
cards. We'll do the 3 cards for you.
Well,
All
we're
right.
all working as a team. I just feel
Yeah.
that you
Might
pick
as well.
them and I'll just.
You go first, and then I will. You
I'm
pick-
shuffling. Okay, I'm
Yeah, you're
shuffling for you,
shuffling
Angela.
too.
You say ready. And I'll
Angela,
pull
did you
cards.
have a particular question tonight for this for the cards? Or
No, whatever pops up, I'm game.
all right, you got two special ladies here pulling cards for you.
This
All
one
right,
popped
Marie.
up for you. It's called Wisdom, and it says the angel of wisdom is
Wisdom.
granting you insight from the higher realms.
Wonderful.
So I'm trying to avoid the light here, but
I know it reflects.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Can you see it? Great. So yes, you have some
Yes,
wisdom
that's beautiful.
to you and through you. So would you like to share?
That would be great. I would go with that. I'm good.
Awesome.
And to build on that, I got the intuition card for you. So
Oh, wow.
it kind of goes hand in hand.
Oh,
That spirit is encouraging you to trust your
Wow.
inner guidance. So maybe you're not trusting what you're
Wow.
receiving, but you are receiving messages, and the angels want you to know that. I almost feel, it's funny.
okay.
I'm seeing a big sign that says trust. I don't know if it's literal or if you should make a sign and put it on your mirror or something, and every time you passed it, to see that trust in your own inner
Okay.
guidance, and you'll never go wrong. And the angels are telling you to
Okay.
do that. And the other one was
Yeah, every once in a while, I don't trust it And I just think, oh, no, it's my imagination.
Well, obviously they're trying to tell you it's
Well, they're
not.
telling you to trust. I mean, put a big sign out. Either it's
Thank
literal
you.
or it's a symbol to put that sign, or
Right.
this is their sign to you, right?
Mhm.
But the other one I got is ignite your heart, which is Archangel Chamuel
Okay.
is opening your heart, allowing you to love more deeply.
You know, that makes sense because that's very much the place
Beautiful.
where wisdom shows up. So you probably are second
Right.
guessing what you know, but it's actually wisdom coming through. So go to your heart and
Oh,
get that
wow.
wisdom. We'll all benefit.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you, ladies. I so appreciate that.
You're welcome, Angela.
Thank you for sharing tonight, Angela, and calling in.
It's like saying
All right.
angel.
Thanks. Y'all have a great night.
You too.
Yeah. That's what my family calls me, as Angel.
Yeah, right, angel. Okay, bye.
I have a couple people in the chat room. I don't usually do this, but I don't know if you ladies would be up for it or not. I have Christina asking if you could pull a card for her because she doesn't want kids to be woken up in the household, so she can't call in. And she's been begging me in the chat room all night. So can you pull a card for Christina?
Christina, hey,
Lantis.
Marie Antoinette, we'll do back and forth like we just did. I like that.
Okay, I'm
All
on it.
right. You go first, and we'll build on
Christina
it.
Lantis. Christina, for you, there's clarity. Your angels are helping you to see the situation in a clearer way. And when we created this is very much the archetypal image of the staff of Moses parting the real from the unreal. So there might be something clouding your vision where you are not sure what's really the thing you should be listening to. And the angels are right now helping you part that way so that you can see it clearly.
Beautiful. And they're building upon that. See how we built it? We should have done
Yeah,
this.
it's teamwork here. Tag
We
team.
should have done this the whole time.
Right.
But divine perception. Did we get this one already? I don't.
No, it's a beautiful one, too.
Okay. The angels are directing you to perceive the situation from a higher state of consciousness. So whatever you're thinking about, whatever's going on in your life that you're having either a problem with or a question about, that
awesome.
just see it from a higher state of consciousness. Say, angels, what would you tell me about this situation? Not what I want, but what you want.
That's like that partnership, because first they're meeting you halfway by parting the real from the unreal, and then you have that clarity to receive that higher perspective. So go get them. That's going to be a breakthrough for you. Yeah.
I'm glad it worked.
Okay, one last one I'll let through because he asked. Tommy here wasn't able to call, and he came in late. He's asking, and this is the last one. Pull a card for Tommy here.
Okay,
I think
Tommy.
he wants you to pull a card, Jason.
I don't have a deck to pull a card for right now in front of me, so I have nothing but
Okay.
center cards in front of me.
Okay, go ahead.
Tommy Webster. Okay, Tommy Webster. Trust. There's a trust card. We talked about the trust earlier, but the trust card is she's holding a chalice, and the idea painted here is that you yourself are that chalice, and that you trust yourself to be filled with the inspiration or whatever it is that you need to add to your circumstances right now. It says the angels are encouraging you to keep the faith. So believe that you are that chalice that's getting filled with what you need. So trust for you.
And then to raise your, it's also, I picked the, look at that. See that?
He's saying, oh, wow, yep, been letting go about people's judgments and allowing love to shine through.
Beautiful. So they're raising your vibration by what you're doing. See? By not worrying about letting go of ego and just raising your vibration. Archangel Metatron is elevating you to a higher state of consciousness, what you are doing right now. So you're on a very good path. The angels are with you every step of the way.
All right. Now, I have people asking, where can people find this Oracle deck? Where can they purchase it at?
They can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, on .com, any major bookstore, metaphysical bookstore.
I'm sorry, I put the
Walmart
link
online
in both chats also.
Yeah, there should be a link in there. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it won't let them click on the link, and I know YouTube can be that way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be on Amazon is the easiest, barnesandnoble.com and so forth.
And also on our websites.
They're pushing it at Walmart too, believe it or not. So they may be putting it on all the Walmarts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not that I want to buy it from Walmart because I won't.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
it's nice to be able to get it to the people that need the guidance.
That's really cool, though.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for this deck, for anybody that does end up purchasing it after the show tonight, instruction, you have a YouTube channel where people can kind of get a little bit of guidance on how to use it.
Yeah, if you have a YouTube channel and I talk about how to clear the deck, how to give a reading and so forth. And I also offer classes, online classes on how to do it as well. They're a lot of fun. You know what I forgot to mention before on how do you clear your angel deck? What I do after a reading, I put them back in the box and so forth. And then I find a crystal that resonates with me for that particular day. I love the pre-night. I don't have it here. I have it at my center at work. But you clear the crystal, you energize it, and then you put it on the deck, and it energizes the deck and clears it as well. So if you have a particular crystal that you feel that resonates with you, you put it on top of the deck, and it charges the energy on the deck as well.
I should use that for my tarot because that's one of the things. It's like I got to clear the energy of the tarot deck after I read it with people. And a lot of times it's just my ritual of putting it back in its cloth case and putting it back in. It's like that's my clearing, but maybe I need to do more to clear it.
For the crystal, yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Clear it with crystals.
Yeah.
Now, any future projects between you ladies, or is this going to be your only oracle deck you guys are going to do? Or are you thinking about maybe making a specific different kind of deck in the future?
Oh, well, right now I'm writing a book about law of attraction. So that's my next project, but I'd love to work with Marie Antoinette again. We talked about that many times, that this isn't going to be our only deck. We just have to figure out what the next one would be about. Of course, the angels, but
yeah.
We've talked about maybe making the deck for children because that seems to be an area where,
awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, it comes out because I just created a children's book, like I said, on a child having an experience with death. It's based on Daniel Brinkley's story. You remember his
really? Yes.
Saved by the Light. Yeah, he's a friend of mine, and so I turned and so I turned his story into a children's book. I adapted it, of course, because he himself was struck by lightning, and so a child wouldn't survive that. So that wouldn't have been a near-death experience. So in the book, the child is called Danny's Day in Heaven, and he is now same personality, a bully as Daniel was, and then he doesn't want me to say that, but he drowns and then enters heaven, has that same elements of the near-death experience that all the people are coming back now with all the refined equipment that we have in the hospitals. And so he has his life review, he meets his guide, he learns about love and what's really in his heart, and then he returns at the end of the book to live a life of love. And
this is a children's book.
Behind. Yes, I just finished the illustrations, I wrote it, and it's coming out later this year, maybe early next year, because the printing process.
What's the title of the book?
Danny's Day in Heaven.
Danny's Day in Heaven. I got to write that down, actually, because I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And they live in this weird family of mine, and we talk about a lot of deep themes sometimes because I get forced into it. They went on their first ghost hunt, and I had to have like a long, deep conversation with my 10-year-old about that my philosophy on the afterlife. Danny, say that one more time. Danny's
Day in Heaven.
Day in Heaven. I'm writing that down.
Because I was that kind of kid, I think many children have experiences with the other side when they're children, because it's the nature of, just your openness as a child. But for me, death was always so scary. It was such a black hole that could gobble up my loved ones. And that's kind of why I always wanted to book like this. So.
That's awesome. I think that is awesome because, I was a kid that was like that. I lost a friend in kindergarten and actually saw her after she died, like had the whole kind of sixth sense experience where she was inside my fort and came to me and I freaked out, so I've dealt with I've thought about the afterlife. That's what I told my 10-year-old when he went on a long walk on our vacation. After we went to St. Augustine Lighthouse place with Rob on a ghost hunt, he was like getting really like too deep, for a 10-year-old, like thinking about death and I don't want to die and all this stuff.
Topic.
Yeah. And I felt awful as a parent, and some people deal with it with their church and religion. We're spiritual, but it's like, what do I talk to them about? And I just tell them everything. I just told them my theories on life after death and all that. But it'd be great to have more children's book in this area. So I think that's awesome.
it's very visual, obviously, but it is sticking.
Yeah.
It's non-denominational because it's sticking to the ingredients that everybody's bringing back who has been resuscitated. So
That
then
I'd like
can
to have you
add
on
your
the show to
personal
talk about
philosophy.
that. I should like to have you on the
Thank
show to talk about that because we need more children's authors on this subject that aren't afraid to tackle the tough
Yeah.
questions with children when it comes to life after death. I mean, so many people nowadays are going through, they don't have religion, they don't go to church, they're not really spiritual, but maybe they want to be, or they want their children to be able to explore these ideas without
Yeah.
a dogma or religion. We don't have children's books for this, so I
Right.
think that's awesome, Marie.
Thank you. Well, yeah, we'll be in touch. I'll show you what.
Yeah,
what it
definitely.
looks
Yeah,
like.
definitely interested in that. And
Okay.
then, and like Karen, again, love to have you back on. Talk about what was the name? Do you have a title for your book yet?
Not yet, but there's
yet?
a lot of other things going on. I'm going to be in a documentary about life after death with the Dyers. The last time I was on the show with you, we were talking about
Wayne
the
Dyer.
consciousness when Wayne Dyer was coming through.
Yeah.
Now, they have a book out called The Knowing, and they talked about our experience. So now somebody found
Yeah.
out about that. They're doing a documentary. So that's exciting too. So we're working on that as well.
Well, some big names there: Dwayne Dyer, Daniel Brinkley, too. This, people that I've listened to. Dwayne Dyer, of course, is deceased, and you have a whole We Consciousness. People, you got to check out. There's an older book of yours that I truly love. You really want to check out Karen's experiences. I highly recommend it. And Daniel Brinkley, I just mentioned in that, I used to listen to Art Bell, and every time he'd have Daniel
Yeah.
on, I had to listen because that guy is just so fascinating. And I can't.
He's
just-
awesome.
So I'd love to
Mhm.
see any children's book that he had any a part of, and especially with the artwork. So thank you, you wonderful
Okay.
ladies. You were awesome tonight.
You're welcome.
I truly want to get my hands on this deck, the Angel Oracle deck, guys. You can find it. I saw Wolfie there in the chat room said he already found it on Amazon. Get it from wherever. Get it from their website if you can avoid giving money to Walmart or Amazon. But if wherever you get it. I'm not going to judge you. That's it for the show, guys. We will be back maybe next Sunday. If we are, we're probably going to do an ITC, a Spirit Open Lines night. If I can, I might have a work thing. I'm not sure yet. But if we do, we'll have open lines next Sunday. ITC, Spirit Box Communication. I'm hoping we get to do the show next Sunday because we haven't, it's been a couple months since we've done one. But that's it, guys. We will be back hopefully next Sunday. If not, we will be back the following Sunday. But that is it for the show. Thank you again to Medium Karen Noe. Thank you again to Marie Antoinette Kelley. Definitely check out Angel Oracle deck. Check out Karen's books. She's got several you should definitely check out. All right, guys. Have a great night. See you
Good
next
night.
Sunday, hopefully.
Bye-bye.
Bye.